Thank you.
Roger.
Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, have fun.
See ya.
Hey. Hail to you, everybody. Let's get into this. This is going to be interesting. We have here a Vermintide Onslaught Tournament going on, and I have the great esteem and pleasure of streaming it, being a shoutcaster. Oh, hey. Of kind of shoutcasting the event today. So thank you so much for having me be your host with the most tonight. I guess that's it this morning. Let me put myself down here a little bit, kind of shrink it out. There we go. That'll work. That should be fine, I think. Yeah, so let's check it out. Where is my chatbot? There it is. Deneb, hail to you. Mugdulu. Yeah, I had to get some things set up that I wasn't quite familiar with here. Can I get a view docs chat? There we go. Now I should be able to see you guys just fine. Spam some things. There we go. Now it's working. Mugdulu, welcome to the stream. Deneb, thank you guys for being part of tonight. So, this tab, you guys are going to see me go through a number of tabs here. We've got Iceolator and Bioshift. There we are. We're live on both Iceolator up top, Bioshift down below. So we're going to have the perspective of the Witch Hunter Captain, and we also have the perspective of the Mercenary, Marcus Gruber. And then in this second tab, we're looking at Olden and Slash. Slash is our Waystalker, it looks like. And Olden is going to be our Battle Wizard. So this is multiple different teams playing at once. I want to stress that. This is multiple different teams playing at once within this tournament. So let me go ahead and put this up here. And let me see if I can kind of bring up some rules and stuff, how this is going to work for you. Also joining me once they come in, we'll do a little shout out for my co-host coming in a little bit later, Grimmelite. So I'm looking forward to that. As far as this tournament overview is, this is the Onslaught series. The Onslaught is a platform that aims to introduce players to modified difficulties while playing with experienced players in an organized setting. So this is kind of like nitty-gritty, almost raid style Vermintide. You have a very tight-knit group, and now you're going to see some crazy aggression. The events have changed, the spawns have changed, the triggers have changed. It's gonna be pretty insane to see. So the whole series itself, this is a competitive event falling under the greater umbrella of the Onslaught series, but is separate from the Onslaught Team Captain series, which is separate. Well, this event is meant for people who want to engage in friendly competition. Let's stress friendly competition. This is a more formal setting. If you have some Onslaught experience before practicing, you are welcome to participate. And then the people you want to get a hold of as you guys see this and say, hey, this might be something I want to do, get a hold of Iceolator or Exan. So, why do I sound so robotic? Do I sound different to you guys? I think I sound different. Curb, welcome to the stream. All right, so like I said, so we have here in Team 1, we have Team Iceolator Bioshift. Team 2, we've got Olden / Incandescent. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream this one because I think the AU players, the Australian players, are going to be entirely different time slot. So I'm not too sure. I'll leave this up, but I don't think we're going to be watching them today. The Olden / $1.24, I think, is also Australia, maybe. And we have Exan. So this is going to be pretty cool. We can see a little bit of their chat. If I put myself away, the Empress, hail to you, champion. Welcome. This is a little bit different today. No armor, all Vermintide rep, all Vermintide rep. All right, sounds good, Slayer. You can't tell? Mr. Thy, welcome to the stream, by the way. Hail to you. So we are going to have multiple teams playing. But what I'm going to want to do here is focus on one stream at a time. It looks like people are still setting up. We have about 5 minutes before the tournament actually starts. We've got our teams here. Yeah, so we're going to focus on these 3 teams. This is Iceolator Bioshift. You guys can... If you ever get confused, I don't know if you can see it, but in the very top right of the stream, right here, you can see who's games reviewing. And is that Grim?
It is.
Hey, hail to you, champion.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, this is awesome. So we're looking at the team compositions right now. We're going to focus first on Iceolator and Bioshift. Let me give you the links that I'm using to watch these.
A few of those streams right now.
So it's a couple of different links of multi-streams. I don't think the Australian teams are playing. So I think really it's just those first 3. I'll give them to you anyway, just in case somebody gets on. But the first one we'll be looking at here is Iceolator Bioshift. And I can refresh the page so we can try to sync up.
Should be synced up enough by default, should it?
I think so, yeah. Right now they're setting up the pit. They're hosting the game.
It's one of the more fairly standard map, I'd say. It's 2 events in it. That being the warehouse with the little COD zombie-like mechanic, the windows. That mostly gets ignored at higher difficulty levels because it is mostly not a viable option to try to actually defend the windows. So people just hole up in the back and defend. and then
And-
the escape. Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you're good. I was actually gonna ask, leading up to that, is it still fairly straightforward, or is that where the level starts to change?
The upset, I mean, it is a wide open map, but most teams will stick to paths that they plan out. Mostly in with the books obviously not being in play, that they have a variety of choices as to where they want to go in the first part of the map.
And have you noticed?
Well, yeah, all teams are in the Discord.
Okay, I'm
so
trying to
I
turn
would
it down just a little bit so we can hear them, but also so we don't talk over them.
start early.
Have you noticed if teams have devised a
It's only 2 minutes, come on.
like different paths? Do different teams take different ways to get there? Because this is a really large map.
Or would
Actually,
it arrive precisely when he means
I'm afraid I've not observed every single of those teams practicing to know which path they plan to take on the map, but we'll be able to see as the event goes.
Okay. Well,
Teams actually do take different paths.
I think that's like the opposite.
Would,
Like 10 minutes late is actually polite.
are these three teams doing the same maps, like the first map first? Like, are we gonna
I believe so.
2 hours
Okay.
late, right?
first map first?
Yes, I believe all the maps are to be played in order, and if teams fail, they have to do all of their attempts on the first map before they actually do any on the second map, etc.
Okay, let's go over that real quick because I don't think I touched that at all as far as like
Take a steady pace.
the rules and how this is going to play out exactly. So the format here, this is going to be a 3-hour event.
I've got one
There's
on my clock.
4 pre-selected maps revealed during the event announcement.
I posted them in Discord.
So
There are
eager.
2 selectable difficulties. You have Kata Death Wish plus Onslaught and Kata 3 Death Wish plus Onslaught. Maps must be completed in the order that they're given, and the difficulty can be changed within the same map. For example, if your team decides to switch from Kata 1, fails, or in between maps.
I mean, you can
Um,
still finish your attempt if you're in a run at the time.
And there's a whole scoring system, but for the most part, each team is given 5 attempts per map, so we're talking a total of 20 if they have to use all of them. And do we have those 4 now? It's the pit.
Yeah, the maps are the Pit, Empire in Flame, Horde of Magnus, and Enchanter's Lair,
Alright,
in that order.
Head to
Oh, I'm
the-
looking forward to that. So let's take a look here. Can you guys see both of these streams? All right.
Yep, stay together. Don't go too far forward. 'Cause it's
Wonder if I zoom in.
so just deal
No,
with
if I
it.
zoom in, that makes
And then
chat.
progress when we can. Slide it.
Ooh. You want side by side or stacked, guys?
Hamburg. Hamburg from behind.
Slide it coming behind us.
I'm gonna go ahead and actually gonna close my Steam.
No, you can go forward.
We're gonna focus here real quick on the Witch Hunter Captain. This is Iceolator. This is gonna be his perspective playing Witch Hunter Captain.
There's another assassin up.
Wonder if I can turn up the quality.
So we've got a team composition of Mercenary, Witch Hunter Captain, an Ironbreaker, and a Battle Wizard.
What the fuck? Did you see that jump?
The Mercenary is probably the most
Gas
There's a
gun.
gas above us. I think.
common
No problem.
character to be played in Dead Wish Onslaught.
Right, let's go forward.
The old with the temp health regen, and as well as Walk It Off, which gives the entire team 40% damage reduction, is so invaluable that it's almost a must pick for most teams.
It's fairly up. Like it's up pretty often. Is that something you want to spam throughout these events, like or like hordes, or is it just like when you start to feel pressure, use it?
Alright, go back.
Well, for the most part, you'll use it whenever anything that comes up that, like, for example, those monks here. Like, anything that could potentially damage your team, you just, in preparation for that, just put it up, which makes sure all your team has the health to take a hit, and also to walk it off 40% damage reduction. It is a, when you have walk it off, it becomes a preventive measure more so than a reactive one, because you don't want to put walk it off once your team is already taking damage. You want to put it up before they take damage.
Yeah, I just saw that just now as these monks are coming down the stairs. They popped
Yeah,
it,
the
it
Merc.
knocks them back. You got that control, and then you get a little bit more like you can anticipate more what's coming at you.
Yeah, it's like the monks came in, and the moment they realized that, the merc popped his ult, and now they all had 40% damage reduction, and on top of probably box skins, which I suppose a lot of them would be running, that makes the monk a lot less of an issue of even if they potentially combo someone.
More ambience ahead.
So in this particular setup, if we're talking tankiness, I mean, I'm guessing Ironbreaker right out the gate. You're gonna have the mercenary with Walk It Off. You said people could be most likely running Bark Skin. Are we scared of the wizard getting hit too hard too fast?
And Wizard is, I suppose, the only one that has 120 health in the setup, but
Okay, let's climb.
it's still the Wizard's on the clearly on the back side, right? It's back line, that is. Like there's a front line and a back line, which is terms commonly employed by the team playing those difficulties. The front line are the characters with the more melee-oriented builds, like the Mercenary and the Iron Breaker. I mean, basically everyone but the Wizard in this group. Although depending on what the Iron Breaker is doing with the Flamethrower, could become a bit more of a backline.
Yeah, but like that.
And the backline, which is in the back and usually deals with the specials and the elites that are mixed in the Horde and that are being dealt with already by the melee.
So it does sound like it's a very like cohesive group, a very like well worked together group. Does the game still like this like get that one rat in your back spawn? Does that still happen in this? Like you can't be relaxed in the back line.
Kill the gas and jump in.
Yeah, obviously not.
Let's get
But like you see the positions they're taking. They'll usually have their back towards something where the enemies are not going to be coming from.
You did turn on
Gotcha. Okay, well, we took a look at.
Oh, thank God.
We talked about how the mercenary affects this. We were watching Ice here. So how is the Witch Hunter Captain going to be helping us here?
Well, Witch Hunter Captain provides a series of buffs for the group, like the 5% crit chance that is often almost always up during fighting because of sheer amount of elites and specials being killed. And also the ultimate, which depending on the talent he runs might or might not give the entire group another extra 20% crit chance. That crit chance, like those buffs stack up and they increase the DPS of the entire group significantly when all of them are active at the same time.
Yep, don't get caught into the
And
corner.
it's a term that actually starts mattering in those much higher difficulties, DPS. It's not as straightforward as, say, in an MMO, where people have damage meters and such, but DPS is actually a thing that matters in Vermintide when it comes to spawn rates that are very high. And it's whenever your group doesn't have enough DPS, it starts to show in the way that you no longer are killing enemies before next enemies spawn in.
And we can
That's
see
when you
that
know you
here.
don't
Where, I mean,
have
we've got
enough DPS.
the Storm Fiend, and suddenly we have a bunch of Storm Vermin. There's all these specials coming in. I just saw a Blightstormer. We've got Gas Rats. There was a Gutter Runner that happened just before all of this. And then it's a constant horde.
Why are we going far back so far?
And what I think else is crazy here is Salty had to drop down. He's coming back. They split off a little bit, and then they have to come back together. So yeah, I can definitely see how DPS is a huge factor, or at least control somehow, at least the horde.
Yeah, control is required. Control increases the amount of enemies you can take before you start losing your DPS, because once you lose control, you lose a large portion of your team's DPS because, you know, people are buzzy, kiting, or defending themselves instead of actually attacking. So that's where control becomes important for the group. If you don't have enough control, then you lose your DPS too quickly, and then once you lose your DPS, you're liable to getting overwhelmed.
Gas ahead.
A team with enough control is going to do the maximum amount of DPS it can do against more enemies.
Take a look at this mark right here.
Yeah, the spam block canceling and
Look
the
at this.
first light attack. That is the most optimal single target DPS for the Skull Spear, I'm afraid.
Nice, we
Now,
get into the fish market.
as far as bosses are concerned that spawn in, like, is a Blightstormer I don't want to say helpful, but like, which one is, as far as threat is concerned, the worst boss to deal with?
Let's go in the open.
The
Minotaur,
worst
maybe?
boss to deal with. the Minotaur depends on whether or not they can get it separated into doing that
We can push through this
tech
and make it
where they
big.
stand in the spot and the Minotaur just like tries to hit it, an opponent that's inside of its box and can't do that. If they manage to isolate the Minotaur that way, then it becomes a non-threat. But other than that, yeah, if they can't do that, the Minotaur is probably the heaviest threat. If they can, then the Chaos Spawn is probably the worst one.
And Chaos Spawn is my most hated boss at all times. I already hail to you. Welcome to this tournament shoutcast.
I think there are two sevens in one spot.
Yeah,
Did
they
you
were.
see that?
Stop.
They're exactly
We're
the same
taking a
spot.
oh, it reset the video. So we're taking a look here. This is Iceolator and Bioshift. So we're gonna have Isolator here on the left-hand side of the screen. We have Bioshift on the right. Bio is our mercenary, and Isolator is our witch hunter captain. We also have Simon. I don't think I've ever seen Simon play. Like, he's rocking the Ironbreaker. It looks like dual hammers.
Assassin.
Yes, dual hammers is probably the most common weapon to be played on, well, most of the dwarf careers except maybe Slayer.
I've only recently started using them.
Yeah, we can keep moving through this.
I've been trying to do some Fortunes of War, and someone taught me a Juice Breaker build, and that's the first time I've really started using the hammers. So
Next choke. I take a spot real quick.
I kind of get it. They knock enemies around. I don't think you're getting a whole lot of kills, but I feel like, again, it comes to control. It comes to a ton of temp HP, and I guess that's the name of the game in Deathwish, huh?
Well, yes, it is.
Or Onslaught.
There is a solid DPS requirement as well, which prevents you from just bringing all the careers that have the most damage reduction. Because if you do that, then you're not gonna have. You might have some control, but even with control, you're not gonna have enough DPS to deal with the whole thing. But yeah, it's a balance between having as much control and tankiness as possible without having too little DPS that you get overwhelmed by the spawns.
I got him.
And speaking of that, like, just looking at the weapons on the Witch Hunter Captain, you can see we've got the billhook crossbow.
Another one.
We've got the mercenary who's got his spear, and I'm guessing repeater handgun. I don't think I've seen him switch to his ranged.
So, I would like to go right
It
here.
might have been a blunderbuss, I'm not sure.
Right.
Or we'll keep an eye for that. It looks like Barden still 20-20, so possibly. Oh, that's gonna be crossbow.
I'll check the alleyways. Monks ahead.
And then for the wizard, I haven't really been paying attention to the staff we're using.
I would probably expect conflagration,
Back. Oh, he-
all that AoE capability, which comes in handy when there's that many enemies.
Gas suicide in front.
Yeah, it's a blunder. That was a quick swap on blunder. Wow. Oh no, it's
Yep.
handgun.
Blunderbuss. Yeah, the blunderbuss can come in clutch against large groups of berserkers and maulers. They can just take out like gigantic bits before they even become a threat, which is probably the reason why it's been run over the repeater handgun. Since between the double crossbows, they have enough special killing that
They're going down. They're going down.
Okay.
he can afford doing that.
So I'll give you a front now.
They've got a patrol. Looks like they're gonna walk past them.
Oh, nice shot.
But the horde nonstop. Like, this is. If anybody hasn't played this mode, like, the closest thing I could imagine, the frequency of these hordes, it feels like a deed. You know, what is that modifier where it's just nonstop hordes on you? Send another
Oh
wave.
yeah. Yeah, send in the next wave. Funnily enough, when I started coding Onslaught for VD2, I based my way to increase the frequency of hordes off of the code of that deed. And at first I just pasted that deed's code to get the same frequency as the deed itself. And the problem that I ended up having is that it was too frequent, like by far, way too frequent. Because I also did that thing where there's elites and hordes before, Cataclysm also did it.
There's no need. We have enough.
And with the elites and the hordes and everything like that, the hordes being upgraded themselves being upgraded like that, the same frequency as the deed actually like completely overwhelmed the groups ridiculously. So I had to tone it down to something that's
I would like to drop here. because we-
slightly lower than what the deed actually does.
Yeah, because I know, well, not necessarily just in the deed, but in the game. Let's just say you're playing Cata, right? And you deal with a horde. You usually get 10 seconds, 15 seconds, couple of steps in to kind of reposition, move ahead, maybe find some potions or healing if you need it. But here, it's like, here's a horde, take 3 steps. Now you've got specials. You got, in this particular map that we've seen so far, storms. You got the heavy armor. You can see there's this, there's always a special somewhere. Like just now they took out that warp fire. Here comes the storms with the shields. And then as soon as they finish this, it feels like they're going to go up that ladder and it's going to be another horde before even the event starts.
Oh yeah, the Cataclysm and Onslaught together are as endless as it can possibly be. Since I had basically, when Cataclysm came out and took a lot of pages out of Onslaught in its design, I had to make a few choices with mixing the two together, and I ended up just mostly stacking up both together. So you've got, whenever the hordes spawn in, it chooses between the elites that Cataclysm spawns, and then it also chooses a set of the elites that the original Legend Onslaught spawned. So you've got both sets of elites together. So for example, like the Skaven hordes in Onslaught could not spawn monks, but the Cataclysm hordes do. So whenever it rolls for Cata hordes elites, then you've got your chances for monks here. The Onslaught horde part of the elites doesn't spawn any more monks. Still, it's like that as it was. So we've entered the first event now. As I've previously mentioned, they do not actually try to defend the windows. They just hold up in the back and deal with the dragonic amount of elites. And that's where the shotgun comes in clutch as well. If you see the Merc is just taking pot shots at all of those maulers.
Yeah, he's picking them
as
up
much
really
as ammo
well.
will allow. And it's doing some work too. If you can look at the kill feed, like the Merc is taking mauler after mauler.
I want to focus here on the Merc's point of view. He's gonna go up and
And
get
he's even
some
going
ammo.
up the ladder for the refill.
Now, why not defend up top? Wouldn't that force him to come climb at you?
They are also unstaggerable when they climb, and there's not nearly as much space. It's not nearly as advantageous as you would think it is. Like climbing, dealing with enemies are climbing is only good up until the point where you're actually killing all of the enemies before they finish climbing, and there's way too many of them here for them to do that. Because if they do manage to finish climbing on you, then it's actually a threat, because it's a bunch of enemies that can't be staggered as well when they're climbing.
The amount of berserkers, I think I've counted like 13 coming in. This blunder is working so hard.
Yes, that is why Blunder was taken.
That's crazy. And then also in that, I saw a couple of leeches. Obviously saw a bunch of maulers, but if that leech picks you up, I'm pretty sure you're dead. Especially with the number of berserkers coming in, the damage out on you. Unless you have an Ironbreaker ult, which, let's talk about that. You do have the Ironbreaker ult. You do have the Witch Hunter Captain.
That is a thing. They've got literally all of their ults are capable of interrupting bosses or specials like that. So you know, there's almost always going to be one of them that has their ult ready, and if someone gets grabbed, that ult will be used to free them before the damage can be dealt.
I need to grab ammo.
Yeah, go.
It's necessary.
I keep my 18 shot. That's one.
Look at that. Okay, so they finished the event. They still have to escape, but that communication, I don't know if anybody heard it. He's like, I still need to go grab ammo. Just give me a second. They're like, go get it. We'll defend right here. He's back. But unlike in the regular game, you can see the Storm Vermin came out. They're heavy armor, right? I mean, I don't want to say heavy armor, but they like the stagger is different in this mode. So that's like a wall of Storm Vermin. Even if it's just 3, it's gonna take a second.
Yes, the stagger resistance of enemies is higher in Death Wish and Cata 3.
So having to deal with them and then the massive enemies behind them. Sure, you got a couple of Skaven, but you can see just these shielded enemies coming in too. And a regular shielded enemy is, you got to figure out what you can do with it. Are you going to spend time to do a double shove on that? Do you have the attack to disarm the shield? Because a blunder to a shield, the shield will eat it first.
Yes, each pellet from a shotgun will destroy your shield. So if they spread the shot over a bunch of shields, it's gonna be one strategy to deal with the shields, since they'll break a bunch of the shields with the one shot. But for the most part, there is like so much stagger going on between the 4 of them swinging at the same time that the shields are basically just a slight increase in HP for those things, as well as just like meat that blocks shots from when trying to shoot things behind them.
Ooh. Right there is something that the Isolator did that it took me a while to figure out. The gutter runners will do this slight little pounce, like they crouch down and they turn just slightly in who they're targeting. In that little like quarter second is the perfect time to get that headshot on them. It really opens them up. So seeing him do that 2 times just now on a gutter runner, it's, I don't know, it could really save your team, even not just on this mode. Oh, now we're seeing some Chaos Warriors coming. Are these enemies that you want to like strictly prioritize, or how do you deal with Chaos Warriors in this mode?
Yeah, Chaos Warriors, especially in that wish, like the stagger resistance on all the enemies makes everything noticeably more threatening. But Chaos Warriors are a special kind because they are just about impossible to control when there's more than 1 or 2 of them, because there's so few things that actually stagger them that they basically you're forced to deal with the way they want you to move, as opposed to controlling the way the enemies move for the rest of the smaller things.
The thing I'm noticing here that I've just...
So yes, they are being focused fairly quickly, and they force the group to move as well, as you'll see here. Like that one Chaos Warrior made them drop there, even though they did kill it very quickly.
Is finding the time to shoot. Like with the Skaven, I don't know if the hordes are larger or if they feel like there's more of them, but finding the time to get that shot off, let alone reload, I think is crazy. I feel like that's why you bring the crossbow, right? Like that's a fairly quick reload weapon.
Yeah. The handgun, at least in its non-beta state, is way too slow to reload and kill me. And with its lack of penetration, like it was not by it. There's a reason why it was buffed in the current beta we've got. It's way too slow and too little damage for it to be viable against its competitors right now.
So now they've got a troll. So it's just 2 bosses so far.
Yeah, they've been fairly lucky so far with their boss triggers. The Storm Fiend is the easiest of all the bosses, mostly. And then the Haven Patrol that they didn't even have to fight, because they managed to just dodge it easily without even having to spend a bunch of time waiting. But now they've got an actual boss, which is not like it's still not a terrible boss, because they still got like a decent location they can defend. And yeah, like that. Basically, what's happening here is you've got the Witch Hunter Captain who's just bringing a troll away from the team and everything else in a spot where nothing's gonna attack him, and he's basically just rendering the troll a non-issue for the other 3. So the other 3 are basically just fighting as if they were a 3-man all of a sudden, but there's no longer a boss, and then they just come in to take down the phase whenever it gets downed, and just like that, they've one-phased it. So yeah, they are dealing with this thing beautifully.
Being able to get that space to pull the troll away, deal with the horde. Wow.
Don't forget to loot that, okay?
One thing I've
Don't
noticed
forget to
here,
look at- What was that?
if we look at the other streams, the multi-Twitch, one thing that none of the teams have wiped, which is slightly impressive.
I also have to pick
And what's happening with the other 2 is that they are less ahead of the map than the team we've been watching is. It's like it's impressive to see like how they're actually faster as well than the other teams.
Yeah, so Team Olden, we're just gonna stick with that. Olden on the left here, they just entered this drop-down area, but they're having to deal with the troll. Now,
They're having the troll.
a boss,
here.
this particular boss, like the troll, that's not like a guaranteed spawn. Like if they were to have a boss spawn, it's just coincidence right now that they're both fighting a troll.
I believe the runs are not are the runs seeded.
Okay, well,
I
they just dealt
don't know
with
if they
theirs.
are, because I know it's possible. There is a mod that's possible to seed the runs, so you would always have the same boss triggers and stuff. But I don't believe disadvantages with that.
No, not yet. I wanted to.
Ooh.
Kill a cat, however.
Exan taking a bunch of damage from 5 berserkers coming in. Chaos Warrior.
Okay, dead.
Yeah, so they are fairly close to each other. But this first team, with Iceolator and Bioshift, they are getting close to a drop down. I gotta turn down some of the qualities on some of these, or I'll just pause it. That might clean it up. I'll pause one. That way we can be able to watch all of them.
I have quite a few enemies. Go back.
Drop down.
Okay, I'm fine. Let's maybe pull back a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And in terms of what to expect from your enemy, like if we're looking at Skaven versus the Chaos versus the Beastmen, like which one is really going to punish the team more?
Oh, this guy's working.
Some of the teams would say Beastman still.
Dan Weber says, I don't think seeding is working. Okay, so it could just all be coincidence of the bosses that they see.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, the troll wasn't even in the exact same spot, although I believe that even in the seeded run, the spot at which the boss would spawn would be dependent on how the group performs and moves around. Regardless, the run is not seeded. It was coincidence.
And coming up to the finale here, I know it's a little bit away. Is it the same as the regular map? Pop that speed potion and get out?
No. None of the events are.
Because I know
The
in
finale
Cata,
here is...
Go ahead.
What I've done with the finale of this map is I've added a new spawn point that will, on purpose, try to cut off the entire group. Because whenever you have that spawn, usually there's just enemies spawning on the left and dropping in. And I've spawned it. I've made enemies that spawn a bit below
Gas ahead.
and come up to you and block your only way up a flight of stairs. And you have to either push through them or back off and kill and deal with them before you can move forward.
There's quite a lot of ambience down there, I can see.
I love that because if you think about it, like we get to talk to the dungeon master as this is happening. That's so cool. So I can't wait to see how this team is going to deal with that. And obviously they can expect it. Salty. That was close. And the good news here is that these teams they haven't done it on purpose, but these teams are a little staggered as far as their progression in the map. So we might be able to see how each one of them handles it. Got you, Rake.
Stay on the left.
Thank you guys for coming in, by the way. This is me, Ishka TV and Grimmelak. And we are talking about just shoutcasting here, these three different teams playing through this tournament. It is a Onslaught Tournament. And let me just expand here. We can talk about the team composition. We have Iceolator as the Witch Hunter captain, Bioshift as the mercenary, Simon as the Ironbreaker, and Donner, or is it Donor? I'm imagining Donner as the Battle Wizard. And there's these other teams as well playing. Take a look at them real quick. This is Team Olden and Slash. Olden's our Battle Wizard. I gotta turn up quality to be able to see what's going on here. And I wonder if they're gonna change up team comp on the different maps, or do you think we're gonna see the same team comps for the same maps?
There are definitely going to be adjustments at the very least for Enchanter's Lair.
Yeah, okay.
People are going to want to tech against the boss in there. That's a thing that's going to happen for sure. But yeah, speaking of compositions, that's one thing I didn't address either. The compositions of the different groups are fairly similar if you look at them all. You've got a mercenary and a witch hunter captain, and all three of them, as well as I believe the Battle Wizard in all three as well. The only difference we've got is Bioshift's group decided to go with an Ironbreaker, and the other two groups decided to go with a Waststalker instead.
Yeah, I see that. I'm assuming that's the Waststalker over an Ironbreaker. Is that because you're trying to get the...
That's more DPS
Specials?
as opposed to control, and
true.
some more special killing as well.
Now, in this particular setting, for the Waststalker, is team regeneration prioritized?
No, I wouldn't say that team regeneration is important at all. Because one thing that's happened in Death Wish Onslaught is there are so many enemies that, like, if you look at the health bars of most of the players here, there's so much white in the health bars. Like, the green doesn't matter, only the white does. So the permanent health regeneration is mostly inconsequential in almost all situations. So here they're at the final event. Like, the enemies are trying really hard to cut their way up.
They
and
just
barely
barely drop down. They're popping bombs. They're using potions the second they see them. They're
Yeah,
clearing
it's
space.
basically everything because that's the end of the map. But they've made it past here. Like the blockade is gone. They're just sprinting past everything now.
Wow,
So
just
they've,
them looking
successfully-
around. You can see them turning around, looking at that just horde coming at them. Okay,
Yeah,
all right, so
it's
that's a
not meant for
victory.
you to clear everything here.
That's a victory right there for Iceolator and BioShift's team. Congratulations, you guys. Let's take a look at this. So this particular team, this is Olden and Slash. They're taking their screenshots. Hey, Yorkin, thank you for the 36 months, friend. Over 3 years of support to the channel. I appreciate that. Hail to you,
Happy birthday.
champion. Oh, I forgot it was my birthday. Cool, so they got their screenshots. Let's take a look here. They're moving up. Bunny Sinclair, thank you for that raid. Welcome to the stream. We're doing a shoutcast here of the Onslaught Tournament. And as far as time is concerned, that's insane. Because look, these guys are just hanging out, looking at their inventory, a couple loading screens. They're going into Empire into Flames pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
they're not wasting any time. They know what they're doing and they know what they want. Empire in Flames. Meanwhile, the other two groups are still in the round. Well, Olden's team is around the last drop down before the final event, and then Examina's team is
The special sniping's been on point.
a little further back.
Let's see how Olden and
What's the
Slash
third
take
zone
care of
area?
this. They pop that speed pot and
Look on this ping, Simon, come on.
two drop.
It's so high right now. Makes no sense.
Can you
They're using a strength potion. Are they going to be able to pick people up here? I don't think so. What do you do in this situation? We've got two dead.
Wait, what? Which team are you looking at?
Olden and Slash right now.
Oh, I must be delayed.
They're kind of
Oh,
stuck.
oh, that is unfortunate.
They popped speed pot and the left side of the bridge broke down. They fell down. You got Olden and Foot and
Only
Footman
one
dead.
person needs to make it.
Come on, Salty, can you make
that
it?
is
Oh, he got pushed off.
unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. But yeah, this event does not mess around. It is one hell of a blockade, and you have to have a plan to deal with it.
They tried to run past it. They could have possibly made it, but the bridge fell right under them, and they couldn't correct, so they fell to their death. That's Olden and Slasher, by the way, YO. Let's take a look here. This is Examina's team, and they are still working their way towards the finale. They have to go over their bridge, a small slot drop down over it, like, was it like a courtyard, a wharf, and then they get to the bridge. So they're still making their way. They had a death, so they have to play a little more, I don't want to say defensively, but just a little more cautiously before they get their Voice Stalker up.
cut round to the left here?
Yeah, this third group has been running 3-man for a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be fighting here already
They've got the revive.
because they have only one.
Very nice. Okay, good. We got our Voice Stalker up. Get your DPS back up.
No way.
Going over, grabbing some healing.
In case you were going to start going back behind the wagon.
I love all these UIs that everybody uses. Everybody has like this different little change to the UI.
Where's an ammo box? What the fuck is this today? We are getting ammo box.
Who's this?
Went over.
Okay, so this is Empire in Flames. They're in the huge open area just before you go to the gates of the city. You've got Chaos Warriors to deal with. We switched up a weapon here. We went for the Mercenary, decided to pick up the Executioner's
Yes, the
Blade.
Executioner. The event of this map has a lot of chaos, including a bunch of Chaos Warriors, which is probably the reasoning for the choice here. The Executioner allows them to deal with more Chaos Warriors as opposed to the Tusko Spear, which is not very good at that. the Tuskghoul Spear has more of a
Got an ammo box.
control, which they wanted. It was probably a deck choice for both of the events, especially the last one, because they only needed to shove things off the bridge and get past them, which the Tuskghoul Spear was a better choice with than the Executioner. So there's a lot of thought in this group. They know exactly what they're doing and how to deal with every single of those maps. They've played them several times, and they know exactly what weapons to bring on each map and what to do to deal with the different events.
Now, on this particular map, you can see right there, just this tail end of it, Saltfire is really getting a lot of gain out of that ammo crate. Are items like ammo crate scripted in the map? Like, is it guaranteed locations? Or is that just luck?
I mean, there are guaranteed locations when, like, the events and like the ammo box that was in the pit event is always there.
Yeah.
But no, that specific ammo box in this Empire Flame is not scripted. It's just happened to be there. But since it's there, why not make use of it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, look, you've got
The shotgun is powerful against chaos.
It's coming from front.
Berserkers. They need, and usually when you're playing this map, let's just say on Cata, for me, if I can get to those gates, it's a funnel them in situation. Whereas here, I feel the horde density and the
Pack front.
what's the pressure that you feel. You don't really want to get to this gate because you might sandwich yourself.
Like, go in.
Because if the way that they're positioned here, kind of I'm looking at the Witch Hunter Captain.
Yeah, they're on the side of the gate.
Yeah, so that forces them to come around. There's no real spawn area right behind you in that area. And I don't think I see any other weapon changes other than this Executioner Blade. Let's take a look at Examinus team, see where they are in the pit real quick. Okay, leading up to the finale.
Yeah, they're getting close to the last event. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it. And
Fish mark,
hopefully if
okay.
they survive.
And Olden's team is... Uh-oh, got what's going on here? Okay. Just at the start of the
surviving.
map. Ah, man. But they get 5 attempts.
Let's go up and down the back. Or let's just go to the back.
I want to watch this here. We're going to open the gate here. This will be the finale. They're bringing that fire barrel. Oh,
That's an interesting strategy. That
Rolling ambient.
it looks like they're going to try to not run through them, but instead defend against it.
Did you get the ambulance?
If they're bringing a barrel like that.
I got the molotov. There might be a few more, but
oh yeah. Sorry, Rake. No, this is live. This is not beta.
Well, live modded realm, obviously, but
Yeah.
yes. So one interesting thing that's happening here, in normal Cataclysm or Legend or any other difficulty, the event, the place that that precedes the event will disable all spawns to let you collect yourself before the event starts. That's something that I intentionally disabled in Onslaught. Oh, they lost their barrel. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
But we have a battle wizard with concentration. I hope the same thing doesn't happen to them and the bridge collapses just below them. Oh, that'll be terrible.
So
Can you
something I
blink
intentionally
past the
disabled
bridges?
here, like the hordes, the normal hordes that are not part of the events do not disable themselves until the very moment you hit the switch and actually start the other event.
So the
So they
longer
have
they
to
stay
find
in
a
here,
break
the more they're going to be
themselves
fighting.
in all of the hordes of the normal map instead of being spoon-fed one like the normal game does.
Mm-hmm. Looks like they're trying to find the right opportunity here to pull this switch.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. They're taking their time a lot more so than the other two groups,
Here, I'm going to actually mute
but it
this.
might just pay off.
We're going to listen and see what's going on.
Go, Sienna,
There
go.
we go.
We got the blinks going. There's the concentration potion, maybe. Or they're
It
just
does
letting
look
the
like,
wizard
yeah, they
get-
try.
Oh no, she got shoved off.
Is going to try to, yeah, my thing is really unforgiving. It does not want you to run past them. Yep, their strategy is
They're getting pushed right against the wall.
Backfired.
Storms everywhere. They're trying to dance, jump around them,
This is done.
push and shove as
think
much
the
as they
same.
can. The last time they got here, the storm shoved them off.
Oh! Do you really want to run past
that gonna
them,
work?
but the game does not.
Oh, Saltspire got free.
Oh,
Can he make it?
with 5 HP,
Go to your
he's got a healing pot. He's drank the healing pot. Is he
He's-
gonna make it?
He's got that rapier up.
He
He's
has
blocking.
To, not get cut off by the cage.
Oh no!
Oh no, he didn't look.
That's too bad. Saltfire
Aw.
shove. What's chat saying? We gotta see this. Oh, look at that. No, Pepe hands. No.
I can never remember which side of the bridge falls out.
That's unfortunate.
It's random. It is random.
That is very unfortunate, but that's also like my design doing exactly what it was meant to, and it's like you do not just disrespect it and use a bunch of ults to go past it. It does not want you to do that. They tried to disrespect it and paid the price in full.
Oh,
Both of those
man.
teams. Bios teams knew better though.
They definitely. Well, I mean, their team, Exan's team, originally had that oil lamp, and that could have helped them. That could have maybe forced the
It
Skaven
could've, yes.
around. That could have given them more breathing room. That could have melted some of those.
I didn't hear what they were saying. Maybe they decided to try and change their plan because they lost that lamp oil, but no, it was not the right call. I'm fairly certain they would have had a better job of it if they just, dealt with the wave instead of trying to disrespect it and suicide themselves on the breaking bridge.
Someone said friendly leech. No, he showed up on purpose. Hit me and destroy the barrel. That's what he did.
I don't know. Like, if we drop here, you have to go to
So
the
let's
back
see where Olden is. Okay, they're still making their way through. They have they're still leading up. What is this? They're still going up to the window event.
Yeah, they're taking the right path as opposed to the left, which I believe is what Bio's team took in that map. That's the path you're forced to take whenever you do want to take books, and it might be something that players are just used to do whenever they make the switch over. We know most players don't even take books anymore in Cataclysm, but regardless.
You don't in this particular mode, like, I mean, I guess books and all that that's not even like an incentive. There's no like style points for books in this event, or I'm sorry, this
No, there is
tournament.
not.
So, is verticality as useful, like as far as just okay, let's just clear this area and keep moving forward, or is this a kill everything situation and move forward?
Hello. On the house, basically. On the roof.
I feel your pain.
Hello.
Hello.
Above me now.
We are currently casting the Onslaught event.
Real quick.
That's pretty epic.
Nothing.
You got a multi-Twitch link or something?
There's a couple. You can come check out the channel as well. But I'll DM you a couple.
Let's go,
I
dude.
don't think so. I think it's a one-way patrol.
Was that the second trigger then?
Maybe it was through the first.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you over Discord. My bad.
Because otherwise the first one would have been boss and we didn't have a boss.
All right. So what are we looking at here with Empire and Flames? It feels like they really haven't gotten that far.
Away from the stairs.
They just got to the first Grim location.
It's got the steps instead.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Gas behind.
They got a nighttime
Pressing the speed pod in the house.
Empire and Flames, it seems.
You.
It's a bit darker on Isolator's Scream
Left front. Ambient.
versus
Which one are we
Bio, who
watching right
has
now?
those Bio Shift and Isolator.
I got the ambient.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So they're making it to, I guess, like the big burned down inner city part. They have to drop down. Are there any other events before the finale here?
No.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It's just basic map
Someone get
progression.
speed here. I'll jump.
Though there's a boss / patrol trigger coming up really soon.
Okay. Okay. Where do I come
Yeah, it's one of those things that
Chaos spawn in the minor.
Bio and Ice team is very aware of, all the boss triggers and everything that goes with every single of those maps. It's possibly one of those things that some of these other groups are sometimes lacking. It's just they're all very skillful players, but they just take it at the moment. as opposed to planning way ahead and having a solid plan for every single of those events and areas of a map.
Yeah,
We've
that's kind
seen-
of the thing that comes with experience, right? Like
It
Bio's
is.
team, for example, is very
But it's not
experienced.
something that the normal game really trains you for, unlike most of everything else. Like the normal game will train you how to deal with every single of those enemies, and the transfer with the extra stagger resistance isn't too much of a problem for most people to deal with. But having like very specific strategies and team strategies for every single of those map is not something that the game really instills into you, because it's not necessary on normal Legend or Cataclysm.
Yeah, the general strategy for Pops is just to brute forces on every map. There's typically no big strategy involved. As opposed to Onslaught, of course, where there's a pretty elaborate strategy for every single map.
So that's what's happened with the other two teams on the pit. They've tried to brute force their way in through the escape of the pit, having like players trying to dash through the blockade, and they just got shoved off the bridge.
I feel like that
and wiped on the end.
I feel like the concentration potion wasn't used either at all or just soon enough. Like I feel like at the start of that event, if that was going to be your choice, burn it. And then
yeah, I think they did. At least the last group. It's just, it's not enough. It's like the blockade is it's coded so that it literally cuts you off regardless of ulting with a concoction. It's fast enough for that. I made sure it is.
And are bombs going to, like, if you know that that's going to come at you, that wall of enemies, and you all like have bombs, is that something you want to try to do? Just blow them all up and try to move forward, or are bombs really just going to
if you have 4 bombs, you know, you can try to blow them up, but you know that goes within the way of, you know, deciding to deal with it as opposed to trying to run past them. So if sure you can blow them off, but that's just, you know, that's a method of killing them.
Gotcha.
When would the boss spawn once we go on?
Okay, so let's see where we are again on these other teams.
A single bomb is never going to deal enough, because the thing with bombs is that they don't scale with the difficulty. So when you're playing in like the lower difficulties, like say you're still a new player and you're playing on champion, a bomb like literally deletes a patrol by itself because it deals enough damage to insta kill champion storm vermins and whatnot. But once you hit Cataclysm, then the bombs are significantly less good because they still deal exactly the same damage, but the enemies have way more health. And then that's also even more true with Deathwish Onslaught, where the enemies have, you know, even more health. To which point where the bombs are nowhere near enough to kill anything past like clan rats and marauders.
Right, and plus the stagger resistance, like I'm guessing a firebomb isn't really going to do a whole lot other than like maybe force a storm vermin
like
to
a tiny bit of staggers AoE. It's almost pathetic at this point.
That's too well. I'm trying to think, like, could you even use a firebomb if you needed to use it to make a storm fiend run away? Because he'll still run away from his own flames, right?
Yeah, you can try to manipulate padding a tiny bit with a firebomb, and I believe the bombs are all coded to still, you know, cause a boss stagger. So if you direct hit the Storm Fiend or any other boss with a firebomb, it'll still cause them to stagger, which can be used to ledge a boss. It seems they've got a bit of a bug here on Empire. They've got this Rat Ogre that's not exiting the thing.
Oh.
And they're just meleeing it through the wall. One thing they could do, if they wanted to not exploit as much, would be to shoot the wall, which would break it and let the Ogre out. But
I thought that doesn't work anymore.
I think if they shoot them with a ranged weapon, it will break the wall. But I don't think we're going to see that right now. They're just going to melee the Ogre through the wall mercilessly.
I remember once upon a time during a dev stream, they had said that they anticipated this wall to be like an event situation where like you get to hear the wall burst open, enemy comes at you.
Yes, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. The Rat Ogre is supposed to destroy the wall by himself, but he's failing to do that for whatever reason.
He's not strong enough.
There's another wall like this in the same map. If you take the left tunnel, go down in the earlier portion of the map, take a part of the wall, and that tunnel can burst open and reveal a boss as well.
For me, I've noticed a lot of teams have trouble right here. It's the drop down, it's the player choke point. You try to fight to get up here. Once you get to this spot, it's usually those gutter runners, the gas rats. You usually have a couple of blight stormers, especially once you get up these flights of stairs up to the just outside the large area where the second Grim location is.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Scenarios that has like upwards terrain, which can mess with dodges a little bit. And it's got a surprising amount of area for ambience to spawn, which can cause your group to be overwhelmed with ambience whenever they come up the stairs and just play it a little too aggro.
I don't necessarily know if that was an exploit rate. It seemed like it was just a spawn bug. Working as intended.
One thing you're seeing them do here, they've got a plan here. Are you seeing it?
Oh, are they running barrels?
Yes.
Ooh.
They are taking the barrels. There's
some
2
style
barrels
points
that are in this area and that they can bring into the event, so they'll only need 1 instead of 3.
Where did you put the second barrel?
And yeah, obviously they're not bothering to bring the 3rd barrel that you would need for the achievement. That's literally at the beginning of the map. They're not doing that, but they are taking the other 2, which allows them for an easy, quick 2-barrel if they manage to get those barrels in. Which is going to be pretty valuable in this event.
Now, do barrels trigger anything within the events when you place in the cart, or is it only when you light the cart and push it?
No, there is a trigger whenever the cart reaches its destination, not when you light it, which changes the waves. And it's been changed a bit with the last patch, where they've made some modifications to some of the events, including Empire. And yeah, they changed it so that there's more randomized. After the initial wave set that was already there, there's randomized wave sets now instead of just the 1 wave set that does not repeat itself and was exhaustible. And yeah, once the cart reaches its destination, there used to be a wave that would be triggered by that, but that's no longer the case because now there's those repeating wave sets already there.
Wow.
And with Onslaught, that's actually changed the design of the event slightly. Those repeating wave sets are probably not going to come into play because the initial wave set has been made significantly longer by Onslaught, so it doesn't let those repeating wave sets happen. But the extra wave from the cards reaching its destination has actually been removed by Fat Shot, which means that the event might be slightly easier than it used to be because that extra wave set with a bunch of Chaos Warriors in there. The event is by no means easy, regardless. Though it's still going to.
It's still going to be so
a
much
decently
pressure.
challenging event.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a chaos-focused event, and there are a lot of chaos elites in there.
Well, let's
say that much.
Let's see how well this Executioner Blade works for this event.
It's been brought there for a reason.
Let's see. Let's take a look at who we got. Okay, they just finished the event, the window event. They're pushing through. With everybody up, looking good. And then Exan's team, everybody's still up. They are making their way to the window event.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just going under the first Grim location right now. But they're on their way. And here, they've been here for a little while. They don't want to just drop down. That's usually something you see a lot of people do. They'll just run up, grab your healing, grab your ammo, jump down, LOL, run the barrel, right? That's not going to happen here. Not in this mode.
Yeah, they're trying. They've got the team to defend the spot. Usually in a lot of pubs, I don't like this spot because there's enemies that can come from the window behind on the right there. But the thing that's happening here, with the full group knowing what they're doing, they are actually capable of defending all the different sides where enemies can come in on this, which means they can actually abuse this drop down without, paying the price of enemies coming on the side and disrupting them.
New recruit!
So, all hail the new recruit!
We have one question here posed by Rake JW. He says, question for Grim. Do the added extra spawn points ignore the intensity system? Or how does that interaction work?
The added extra spawn points.
I guess what they're talking about is like, how does like we know that there's going to be more or different enemies that spawn in the events. So
the
are we
events
fighting?
The events use their own spawning system. The intensity is something that is only used in the default map spawns. Like anything that's controlled by an event is not governed by intensity or threat or anything like that.
So they're not fighting like the base game event and your event at the same time.
No, the event takes over the base game. The base game is disabled during the event. So intensity has no matter here. Once they actually enter the event. Currently, they're still on the base game spawns up until they reach the carts, basically. Oh, they actually got 3 barrels.
Yeah, they got all 3 just at that. Oh, this Chaos Warrior got me scared. No, they were throwing up all 3, and they've just been fighting up in the drop down for a little while.
I got 1 firebomb.
There's only one reason they stay on the drop down a bunch is because they would need to secure the ability to run those barrels without risking them being destroyed.
So just to go over like the rules as you guys are watching this again one more time, they have 4 maps to do. Each team must complete 4 maps. They have 5 attempts per map, and the way the scoring works is without getting too complex in it. Let's just say you don't want to fail a map. You don't want to attempt a map multiple times.
We can also just push the card and throw them in the end.
I fucked up 1 barrel.
There are different difficulties. So are they? Do we know if they're playing on CataDWONS or are they playing like right out the gate Cata 3?
I'm fairly certain that Iceolator and Bioshift's group are on Cata 3. I did not pay attention so much about the other 2 groups.
We'll take a look. We do know that in between, I do know that Exan's team just reset the map. They didn't go back to the lobby. They just reset the map. So they're still playing on the same difficulty.
Yeah, I don't believe that either of the teams will have changed the difficulty because they both wiped on the end escape, right? Which is a problem strategy and not their inability to deal with the difficulty.
Right. Yeah, so let's just assume that they're all on the same difficulty right now.
Here.
I got ambient.
Yeah, it feels like Stormfiend is kind of like your breathing room boss.
Yes, it is these years.
Where is the Blightstormer?
I don't know, he doesn't show up, and we can counter. We can wait.
Okay, so we are where are we at? They're looking for the Blightstormer. There's the gas rat. Oh, don't you hit those barrels.
Alright.
They're gonna move up. And they're going for that cart right now. Yeah, this is a 3-hour-long event. You guys have me for the next 2 hours. Me and Grimmelek right here. And we're gonna try to give you as much insight and as much visibility in all 3 of these teams. And we said earlier, like I said it's earlier, that it's cool to have the Dungeon Master. We legitimately have the Dungeon Master here of this difficulty, Grimmelek, with us. So really cool to get this kind of insight. Because not only is it like, we know that these players have been practicing these maps before these events happen. It's like, this is the type of punishment these players are going to get.
I keep my strength for now for last wave.
So yeah, they've started the event now, and immediately like, all the wave set is coming in. It basically alternates between waves that have a bunch of Chaos Warriors or a bunch of Molders or a bunch of Berserkers in them.
Who's
So
gonna
the
get
first-
it? Oh.
The first thing that starts is, I believe, Chaos Warriors, which they've just dealt with successfully. And now they're going to have to deal with the next wave coming in with either
Berserkers coming in.
Molders or Berserkers.
That bomb. I don't think they're specifically going for that bomb, but that bomb is always a death trap whenever I go in there and try to get it. It's like, come get me, you want me. And then it's either the Horde or just like these Berserkers and Maulers coming in.
Also, there are a lot of Gunners scripted to be in this event.
They had to restart again.
Which team?
Exan's team had to restart.
What happened to them?
I don't know.
We missed it.
Oh.
It's unfortunate.
They were, last time I checked, they were, was it the window event? They were making their way up to the window vent, and then I saw them fighting the Storm Fiend. Like I said, breathing room, and I never went back. Storm Fiend and other stuff. Oh no.
So they wiped their. Yeah, they were
cursed
fighting
them.
a Storm Fiend last we watched them.
I
and,
cursed
yeah,
them with the Storm
had
Fiend.
the better of them.
This is what I was worried about.
Okay, this is
But
Slash's
looking at
team.
Bio's team, they're having a bit of an issue here. There's a Blightstormer coming up their house.
Oh no, Blightstorm. You know what? One of the most ultimate
the
disrespects in this game is when you get Blightstormed, and then a leech sucks you out of the Blightstorm.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of
It's
the
consistent
worst.
as well, because you're literally not in a dodging state when you're in the Blightstorms. The leech will always 100% successfully grab you if it tries.
Dropping right down below, right on top of the cart. They got one of the barrels in. I think they just stacked them behind the wall.
We have all the barrels in?
Yeah, getting the barrels in isn't particularly important until the carts reach its destination, because like I said, putting the barrels in doesn't actually trigger anything on its own. So yeah, they're in no rush to actually get those barrels in until the cart is where it needs to be.
Just these insane amount of shielded enemies tied in with the berserkers just running through. As far as like berserkers go, the savages jump attack I think is the most devastating attack compared to their monk counterparts.
Yeah, I feel like that the savages are a lot more, readable and easy to deal with than the monks for some reason. The wave sets are very similar from one another, but the one thing that the savages lack that the monks have is this ability to knock back other players, like whenever they start attacking. Like you'll notice whenever a monk starts attacking, players near their target gets like shoved slightly, like an assassin attack as well.
Yeah. Well, I also
Savages
say that the
don't have that.
monks attack, like the number of attacks that they get per second is nuts. It feels like they're twisting their daggers while they're fighting, while they're stabbing at you. So, and I know that these teams, I don't think are particularly playing with high ping on each other, but I do know just monks in general, berserkers in general. If I'm hosting, I have some EU friends playing, and they try to guard those attacks. It's usually unsuccessful.
Yeah, this whole thing that can happen on a high ping, it's pretty bad.
Oh, this is unyielding on the number of rattlings that they had to deal with here.
Yeah, so this event I've coded to have several amounts of rattlings.
Come on, make it! Make it in the barrel! Oh no. He's tried twice. Wizard's gonna go for it.
Yeah, the barrel doesn't want to go in. Yeah, now the car's in position, so they really do need to get it in, because this wave doesn't really yield. It's actually one thing that's happening here is, that might actually make the event harder than it was before, because before, whenever the card would reach, it would trigger this extra wave that has a large amount of Chaos Warriors in it, which was kind of difficult. But now instead, I think it just doesn't stop the initial wave set until you've actually pushed the card.
Look at that, 2 Blightstormers. There was 2 leeches that spawned, gutter runners spawned in, and now you're gonna have rattling, and then I'm guessing a wall of storm vermin with Chaos Warriors.
Yeah, the normal specials of the game take over for like a brief moment in this area. So you can have those, and now you've got the Skaven Storm and a bunch of monks that I added as well during the spot.
You thought Berserkers was it?
Well.
There's monks too.
Yeah, the monks have actually used a spawn point that is not only unused by the game, but already existed without me having to create it.
Oh,
so
cool.
the monks are actually climb out of a hole that's like to the right of the team right now on the far side.
I didn't even see these guys. I know I saw 3 Chaos Warriors in that group, but I didn't even see the Chaos Warriors die. I just saw monks. I just saw storms. I didn't even, like, my brain didn't even register the Chaos Warriors dying. Taking a quick look at
the thing they have to deal with here, like the escape pod is also dealt with by it's got like these advanced spawns of like a chaos coming in repeatedly at the group. But I believe on Onslaught, I've also made it so the normal game spawns are also stacked up on top. Oh, and they got a chaos patrol.
Chaos Patrol.
Yes, I believe that's just going their queue to run away. that is one thing you're actually allowed to do in this part of the map.
Yeah, well, the
They're not-
verticality
they are
gives you
not
that
dealing with
time.
This chaos patrol.
Uh-oh.
They're just ignoring it.
I feel like they need to, but they need to be careful of where they're dodging here. You can get yourself stuck.
Yeah, there aren't particularly that many ambients in this area, so I'm fairly certain they're home free.
Looks like
as long as,
Saltspire's dead.
Some unlucky disabler doesn't come and ruin their day. And they get the bonus loot ratted. Very well placed loot rat, that.
Salty took one for the team, but they are still victorious. That is their second victory on Empire in Flames. Way to go. Their timing is insane. Their pacing is insane. I don't want to say pacing as in like what it would typically mean, but I'm just saying like how well they're doing in these maps, the way that they're clearing it, the way that they're moving through it. That's 2 one-shots for them in a row.
They've done this a million times.
Oh no, Exan damned again.
It's just another day for them.
That happened even earlier than before.
Will we have another wipe?
Yeah, Exan's teams had to start again, so this is their 3rd attempt.
That sounds like they're starting to tilt a little. They did so well up until the end on the first run, and now it's falling apart a little.
Let's see, was there any change in the composition? No, doesn't look like. Looked like they just did a solid restart.
No. Meanwhile, at Oldon's team is coming up to the Sand event again, so we should watch this for a bit.
Yeah, I'm running out of bandwidth here. I gotta watch 3 streams at once. Well, I'm watching 5 streams at once. Let's see. They're gonna try to go through, and I can't tell necessarily if it's my end or if it's on their end, but I'm gonna assume blame on if any of these streams lag. A chaos. Oh, they got a Chaos Warrior spawn. That's what downed them. Exan's team. Spam. Chaos Warrior spam. I'm assuming like a patrol or something.
Possibly.
Yeah. Oh, so out of patrols, let's just assume that they're gonna see Beastmen a little bit later today. Out of the type of patrols, which are the ones that are gonna punish you the most?
I would say Chaos by far.
I've been there.
Those big meaty boys just don't take any damage.
Of all the things that Beastmen are harder for, their patrol is actually the weakest of the 3. The Beastman patrol is actually not very scary at all compared to even Skaven.
I'm gonna do a quick welcome to the stream, Naga, Kale, Onion. Thank you for giving us updates. Harm, thank you for coming in. Who else was it? Was it Wrists?
Here we go. They're going in.
Here it
Let's
goes.
see if I don't think they're gonna try to run past it this time.
New recruit?
They're using
New recruit! All hail the new recruit!
using that conflict to just kind of knock them to the side.
And
This little
they're
box
trying-
and
they're
bridge
taking
right
this
here.
high ground here.
Okay,
No,
it looks like they're
making it
pretty
this time.
well tied together.
They're going past it, but they're doing it as
Go
a
on.
team without, completely disrespecting it.
One blink from the
Yep,
wizard
they will
blocked
make it,
for
it
something.
seems.
There you go. Look at them wait. They
Do
they
not fall on
stopped.
the bridge this time.
Is it home
They're
free?
making it.
Saltspire going through. Look at that Bill Hook
New
spam.
recruit? New recruit! All hail the new recruit!
Nice. They've made it. Second attempt, I believe.
Yes.
They even had a sack rat. 2 dice.
Loot rat.
That's
Gotta
awesome.
Get those loot dice on the modded realm.
Ah, wizard. There we go. There's our victory. Olden and Slasher team. Not Slasher, just Slash. Slash kicks. Congratulations on that victory of the pit. They'll be moving on to Empire in Flames. That's insane. Bolo, Cheese Duck, Robo. Thank you guys for the follow. And Bunny Sinclair, I don't know if I shouted that out, but thank you for the raid as well.
Meanwhile, Examnus team is having difficulties again. They literally on last man standing. We've got a
Oh, no.
wizard going speedrun mode. That's not good.
That fire rat's gonna ruin everything. I can already see it. He's gonna push her back down the
Yep.
stairs. There's no ladder. Well, no, there's a ladder on the other side, I think. But
I don't
did they
believe
get up?
there is- Oh, no,
They got
she's
up.
made it
They
up.
blinked up.
But there's only a witch hunter captain that's right there.
There's a
the other
leech
two are
right
further
there
away.
too. Is he gonna be able
Even
to
if
block
it's a 2-man, it's going to be difficult if this Winter Captain actually survives.
this flame rat? I told you he's gonna be such a problem. Okay, they took him out along with a couple
And
berserkers
it's
and a mauler.
Yeah, they're 2-manning now, which is always
Wizard's
better,
down
but
there on the
Wizard's
crates.
running out of health.
Look at this fire rat.
and-
Okay, he's dead.
Okay, fire rat's out. Now they have to regenerate some health a little bit.
Gas rat is gonna try to finish them off, but the wizard was able to get some space. It looks like the next time their ult's up, they're gonna be able to blink in and pick up the
Yeah,
Waystalker
they
and the
need to get
mercenary.
those two revived, because that's what I said with like control, DPS, and everything. When you lose a member, you lose all of it, right? You lose control, you lose DPS, and it just becomes so much more difficult to keep up with the flow of spawns.
Oh, Salt's trying to go for it. He's trying to be a hero.
I think it's a little too
he took some
early.
damage and
He's
down he
back.
goes.
Oh no!
Back
no,
up.
No.
Pressure back
Should have
onto the
stayed with his
wizard.
wizard.
Huge horde right in front of them. Are they gonna have this blink, or are they gonna
Wizard at
use the
10
boxes?
health.
There's 2 blinks. A Blightstormer.
Oh no!
Blightstormer's down. A chaos
Like-
spawn. No, the boss spawns.
Yeah, everything's going wrong.
They got the heal
Doing
pot
those
off, but is that going to be
moves.
enough to give them the space that they... No. Dropped.
No, unfortunate.
Simon, did you move to an A?
That Blightstormer, the Fire Rats, and even that Gas Rat. Just all those specials, the disables.
Bit unlucky, but
Oh,
obviously
it's so tough.
they did something wrong to lose 3 people that early in.
So this is attempt 4. It's just spawns betraying them. Maybe just bad luck. I mean, that's
Meanwhile, Oldland's team is still taking a slight break between the 2 maps.
So this is
Uh,
Horn of Magnus.
Yes, Isolator's team has gone into Horn of Magnus. Let's see, do we have any changes in the comp? We're back to the spear this time.
Right? Yeah,
No
back to our
executioner to be
spear.
found.
Probably still rocking that blunder.
Yes, I would probably imagine so. I don't think they have any reason to need a
Yeah.
repeater handgun with the 2 crossbows being competent as they are.
And it looks like they really prioritize that. Sometimes I know I'm guilty of this. I'll be like, oh well, there's a Blightstormer. I have a blunder. I gotta try to snipe him. Whereas they have the callouts. You can even hear it here. Even just something as like a potion. They hear here's a strength potion. Pick it up. They know who's gonna get it. They know who's prioritizing what. And so it
Yep.
just comes down to just
They're
team
very
cohesion.
used to playing with each other as well. It's like this is a team that commonly plays with same players or constantly.
Now, in V1, Horn of Magnus was the most, well, statistically, right, the most successful map that you could run. Has that changed in Vermintide 2?
I don't know that much about statistics of each of the maps. One thing that's interesting though with Horror Madness, like I said, it is a map that existed in Vermintide 1, which means it also had an Onslaught version of itself in Vermintide 1. And one thing that I tried to do when I designed this advance in Vermintide 2 was to have callbacks as well, like similarities to how it looked like in BT1 and Onslaught.
Well, that'll be cool to see when they get there. And then,
In
if
Vermintide
any
1,
Ring Guy
right.
fans are watching, do we have any Horn of Magnus commission jokes that we want to say? It's longer than 6 feet. We know that. Let's see, what do we got? We got Olden here. They are just at the start of Empire in Flames.
Yes.
They switched it up. You got your Ironbreaker with your mace now.
Yep, they've got the
A hammer, I
They decided
should
to
say.
go for the same comp as Bio, except this Ironbreaker is not running dual hammers. It's running Great Hammer.
Great Hammer and the Executioner
Interesting
Blade
choice.
on the Merc as well. So it looks
Yes,
like
the
they...
Executioner is they're taking out a page out of the Bio's team.
Yeah.
They know this event.
It seems like they're...
They know what this event does, and they know they need to deal with a lot of
Sure.
Chaos Warriors, which is probably the reasoning behind the Great Hammer as well.
You've also got the handgun on the dwarf as well. So not only is he doing,
Yes, very
Not only
interesting
is he doing-
choices compared to crossbow.
well, I'm just thinking that he's double downing on what his utility is going to be for this team. He's going to have the taunt. He's going to have the armor pin with the hammer. He's going to have to do those long range
Well,
snipes.
Yes, though I'm still questioning the handgun instead of the crossbow. If this was the balanced beta, I would go for it absolutely. But in this current state, the handgun feels like potentially a questionable choice compared to the crossbow.
Maybe it's projectile speed preference. Maybe they don't want to deal with a little bit of drop.
Yeah, there's definitely probably personal preference coming into this choice. The fact of the matter is, like, the handgun's got a very limited ammo capacity, which the Iron Breaker cannot regenerate, unlike the
True.
Ranger, for example. And yeah, the lack of penetration can be very punishing as well on Onslaught, where there's so many enemies potentially breaking your sight from what you're trying to shoot.
Now, they do have a Witch Hunter captain. He does have 20 shots, so I'm assuming that's the crossbow. 40 in total?
Likely. And they do have a
Yeah,
Wave
yeah.
Stalker as well, which,
Yeah.
well,
And
they
then-
have a they do not have a Wizard, actually.
They have the
They
Waste
forfeited
Stalker.
the Wizard instead.
And then the Mercenary with his 40 rounds, that's going to be the repeater handgun. So I think that they're going to get...
No blunderbuss.
They're going to take a lot of punishment
Yes,
at
those
the
are,
final event.
Some different choices, actually.
They're going for stagger control with the hammer and trying to get those executions with the blade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Exan's team, this is where they were before their last attempt. Everybody's up.
They're-
They're pushing through.
Yeah, no, that's so far good.
Got your gas rats down, pushing through. And we taking a look back here at Iceolator and Bio.
Oh, that was another handgun I just saw there.
I think that was a handgun on the Merc.
Yes, on the Merc. That's an interesting choice for that map, especially with the amount of things you will want a shotgun in the first event.
Right there. There's no greater pain than when you miss that shot by, like... My greatest problem with the handgun, I don't know if other people have similar situations, is that I'll go for that shot, and for some reason, I'm always shooting just over their right shoulder. Always over their right shoulder.
In this case, it seems like the Waste Stalker got the kill in first, as opposed to it being a miss.
Yeah, I mean, 40 rounds on the Waystalker, so that is that longbow?
Yeah, the kill was made with the ultimate though.
Oh yeah, with that rattling, or no, that was a...
40 rounds, it's... Yeah, with Waste Stalker it would be longbow.
It's looking awfully like we're gonna get a boss.
You don't really expect anything else, really. Swift bow is not really usable in this patch. In
Yeah, we
this
can-
specific way. It would be a fool's errand to try.
If we do get a boss,
And
Yeah.
the Hagbane is not really...
It's not the boss melter, I'm assuming. Like, you're not really concerned about bosses too much in this, I think. I think it's the control of the hordes. It's the killing of the specials almost as soon as they spawn. It's the control of the
Yeah,
berserkers.
the advance of these maps are not boss focused, so yeah, you don't need specifically a lot of boss skilling. The normal bosses that the map provide are things you should be able to deal with without, taking that hard into boss killing.
really unlucky.
But yeah, the Hagbane has potential in this difficulty, but with the team comp they have, they need this decent amount of special killing.
Kale, I understand what you're saying. I think you're onto something with that. I always feel like I'm missing it, whether they're moving or it's an animation, like a movement animation of the enemy, or the projectile speed. I don't know. It's the handgun. I love the handgun as far as Kruger's like choices for range, but sometimes it betrays me too many times. And I think I'm gonna hear a chaos spawn right here. Isolator and Bios, they're dealing with this chaos spawn. This is Hornamagnus.
You've got a mostly
Oh, wow.
clear area right now, but I'm sure a horde will come in soon. They don't have the time to fully kill this thing before.
I don't think they
deal
need to
with
worry
more.
about it too much. If they can just, yeah, if he can keep him back there where those cards are,
Yeah, you got the wizard in background is seemingly
Oh,
trying to
Leech
deal
picked
with
someone up?
everything that isn't the boss to keep the other
Guess what behind?
able to DPS it.
I got him. I got him.
we've got one down. Wizard's back. Nope, Wizard's still down. Up. I'm watching 2 streams at once. They're just slightly off. Okay, got the heal back up. Getting those ults out. Just gonna be kiting this chaos spawn around this cart. Gotta be
Did
careful
you
with
see
those
that
berserkers.
combat healing from the Merc? That was spicy. Just throwing a medkit on the wizard in
Wow.
the middle of everything.
Was it? Well, did he pop his ult first and then try to do it? Because that's enough time. Oh.
Yeah, probably.
Salty picked up. That bomb saving.
First one behind, I think.
Oh, now you got
Chaos spawn grab.
some dirty winds of magic coming in. I'm hearing
Wizard getting
those.
stuck in it because the chaos spawn blocking the way. I think it's enough help to survive the storm itself. Oh,
Stormer
that's
dead?
very low.
Gutter dead, but I think I saw a second one right down there. He's jumping up. Oh, missed. Okay, he's dead. Berserk on his tail. Chaos spawn destroyed.
Yeah, the wizard is running on fumes with only the help from the temp.
Come on, Barton. Hard healer. Let's go.
Mercenary.
Let's go to the church. Let's go to the basement on the right here, and then check the items. Go to the church.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, they've made it. This
Wizard
one
down
berserker
again.
coming in to gank the wizards.
Not their
Hate to see
day.
it. Well, that's one more healing item down the drain, but
Hey, if somebody's
It's
still
no big
alive, it
deal.
wasn't gone. It wasn't used
Yeah.
in vain.
as long as they're alive and in good shape. That's what
Tactical
the healing
downing.
item before.
Well, actually, you know what? The Witch Hunter Captain still has healing too.
Yeah, they're still in good shape,
Yeah.
regardless of this little gank.
Reach is up.
Actually, going for that
It's a speed and a strength.
little
Speed and a strength, isn't it?
area where the Tome and Grimoire used to be in the first game.
This right here is my absolute favorite spot in the game. If you turn right here, there's a cheese vendor that you can see. It's this is just my favorite imagery in Vermintide. It's the end of the world, the rat men are coming out, and the cheese vendor was raided. He's stabbed in the back. The whole place is destroyed. They're searching for something, you know? That's just my favorite imagery in this whole game.
I'm sure the devs were laughing between themselves when they did that too.
Oh, I'd be giggling to myself the whole time.
Okay, let's get to the ammo box.
And then if you do a quiet drink,
Do we check the other
you actually pass through a cheese alley, a cheese vendor alley as well before you get to all the beer.
I hadn't noticed that one though.
There's like
I'll
a
have
there's
to
like a
look at
cheese
it next
platz.
time that event comes up.
Bringing the ambulance in. Chaos War and a mole and a bunch of stuff.
So they're taking care of 2 gas rats right off,
Stuff on the head.
or I'm sorry, fire rats right off the bat. This event that they're coming up to, this gate, used to be like a, I don't know, a test of don't get hit with a barrel. So is this event going to be changed up for them?
Well, this event, one of the things that happens in this event that is actually might spell the doom of a bunch of those groups, and hopefully not this one, is while the event itself isn't particularly insane, I mean, it's not the easiest either, but not the hardest. But the problem they have is that if anyone dies in this event, they'll end up respawning all the way after the plaza at the bottom of the stairs, which is a horrible respawn. Since they know it means that whoever's still alive has to clear the entire event and pass the plaza, which has a boss trigger in it. So they really cannot afford to lose people in this event.
Hmm. And then if you are down tier,
Your job is to strength bomb the first wave.
where do you respawn? Past the gate?
Yeah, so if they die right now, they respawn at after the plaza
Oh,
at the bottom of the stairs. That's really far. So, if they don't die though and clear this event, they'll be in good shape regardless. But they need to clear this event without dying.
there's that boss. I think it was a troll. Oh, they got their backs to a wall. I'm not too
Yeah,
happy
that's
about
the
this.
user spot they take, and then they got
Oh,
oh,
poked in the
they-
ribs. Are they gonna be
They
able to
need
get them
that
up?
save. Yeah, they want it. They want the save. They've got the save. They're not gonna let someone die
Everybody.
here. They know.
They did a shout from Bio. They did the double hit with
Yeah,
the battle
I think
wizard.
there might have been some slight panic there. They used everything for it because they,
Well,
they
Ironbreaker
do
still
not
has
want
his-
someone dying there. Yeah, they're gonna try to move the barrels in quickly because the waves like keep spawning.
There you
as
go.
long as the thing isn't done.
Oh,
They
Chaos
want,
Warrior on that
get this
wizard, but
over
he
with.
picked up the barrel. Let's get it in that gate.
Event is done.
Nice. Nice.
And they're already done with it, just like that.
That was, man.
That was
That was
beautifully
hairy.
executed. Now they've still got this battle troll to deal with, and
Guess we are down.
whatever normal spawns are going to restart fairly quickly.
Handful of storms, a handful of chaos warriors. One's already down.
But they've got everyone alive. They're in good shape. Look at it. It's
Specials
not the
are starting
hardest
to come
event, but you can't afford to die in it, because if you do die in it, then yeah, it goes to shit very quickly.
I guess one thing about this, if the bosses spawned, you got the gate open, and you died, where's the boss wall? Over by the steps leading up into...
There is no boss wall, because this boss is spawned by the event, by me.
Oh,
This
okay.
is not a boss that normally exists, it's spawned by the event
So
that I
there-
added.
So the next spawn would be...
Yeah, there is still a boss trigger in the plaza itself. So they might get another boss past the gate, which is one of the things, like, if they have deaths and they clear the event without killing this boss here, and then try to speed run to the revives, they might get a second boss. And then, you know, things go very wrong at that point, because, you know, they've got a second boss, they've got a bunch of chaos and skaven mixed together, and a bunch of spawns, ambience from the plaza. Like, usually, like, if you try to
leech
speed run to
picking
those
somebody
revives, you're
up?
not gonna get it.
Okay,
Which
okay.
is why they really can't afford people to die in here.
Oh, I think that was actually a packmaster that picked up the dwarf. They already killed the leech.
Yeah, they're still doing well. The troll's down.
This
They're
bill
basically
hook
back
is
to just the
insane.
normal spawn to the map at this point.
I would love to see, I guess, like, their properties on their weapons. Like, who's rolling the plus chaos? Who's rolling plus stab? You know, like, I would just like to see that. How does that... There's no way that
One
their
thing for sure that
towns...
happens in those higher difficulties, you'll notice just about everyone is probably running at least 60% block cost reduction, and even if you'll notice in the health bars of the people, this mercenary has 125. Well, the mercenary, actually no, the mercenary has 150.
150.
The Swisher captain has 125 health. He's not running plus 20% health on his necklace. He's actually running double stamina properties for this extra control that he is actually.
Two blight stormers on top of the roof. Oh no, one's a storm and a leech.
So yeah, some people start running not health in those higher difficulties, and instead run double stamina properties because they need this extra block cost and ability to just sustain themselves against a wall of enemies hitting them.
Well, Hello Flower has actually said something that's starting to resonate with me since I've been doing Fortune of War Cata, and it's more important to block and keep your health than to deal damage. And the number of times that has actually helped me, or that has rung true to me, I'm starting to kind of understand that a little more.
Oh yes, at the end of the day, if you die, your DPS becomes 0. So you need to stay alive. First and foremost.
The other thing I really love about this mod with the health, the stagger, and all that, I can see rot bloods. Like, just a second ago, one was missing an arm. He's standing there, he's staring at you, he's bloody, but he's still holding the sword. Like, he will fight you till he's dead. I love that. There's a chaos patrol.
Yep.
Are they?
It's
They're
probably
gonna pull him?
better.
Oh, pop him.
No,
Pop
they're
him.
just aiming the warp fire behind it. But that is probably a good boss trigger to have at this place, because you know the patrol. There's such a wide area that avoiding a patrol is fairly easy.
Yeah, this particular area, they're gonna jump up and walk away for like a solid 10 seconds. Maybe 5
Pretty sure they're
seconds.
just like literally circling the plaza. Which, you know, they're
Oh,
just
they
gonna
don't.
be ignored.
Oh, I
and-
thought that they. Is it the storms? I thought that they would climb up a ledge and disappear and come back in.
Yeah, sometimes there can be boss triggers that have a patrol that just comes into the event, which is rather unfortunate when it does happen, but it's rare.
It's I know that we're watching them. Let's go take a look real quick at Olden. They are at the cart here. Let's
Oh
see
yeah,
how
they're
this.
starting the card event. That's probably worth watching that.
Yeah,
Let's
let's.
see how they deal with it. They're just starting. The first wave is always Chaos Warriors.
This is where this hammer is gonna shine.
Fireball
He's gonna
already
eat some
thrown.
damage.
Oh, they're losing one. Their
the
mercenary got
mercenary.
split off, and
Oh, they didn't run barrels, so I thought maybe the mercenary.
yeah, I don't think they did.
Oh, he's down.
They were probably trying to go to barrel, which is the wrong thing to do, honestly. Because even if you don't have those 3 barrels, you just want to like push the card first and deal with it.
We had
Yeah, having to
bombs.
do-
I think I saw
having to
2 bombs
go into
go out
those
here.
risky houses with barrels is pretty bad.
Oh,
Now they're down 1,
no.
but you do respawn in the event in this case. They're down 2. It's not looking good.
Those
This
stairs
Ironbreaker
never
with a
fight
Great
around,
Hammer is
near, or on
particularly good on
stairs.
its own.
They're gonna have to jump off this ledge and run back up. Maybe
Yeah,
pick
they're gonna
up
have to kite
the
around
spawn.
a bit and
Oh,
hope
he
to
hit
not
the
get
barrel.
completely overwhelmed.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a. Oh, he put it in. Yeah, that's.
That's just gonna
Well,
trigger
we
even
got
more
one battle
pain.
down.
Okay.
But yeah,
We're
we've
gonna pick
we've
up
got
our
a respawn
mercenary.
already, so they'll be back
How
up
is
straight.
Saltspire still alive?
I don't know. Looks like he died in a pretty.
He got
bad spot
down
for him to
just at the
take.
side of the stairs.
Yeah,
That's
looks like
unfortunate.
The enemies can't kill him quickly, which is unfortunate in this case because they're not gonna get a revive either way. The
They're gonna have
dwarf's
to
got
fall
a conch
back.
ready. He's gonna use it.
This isn't necessarily an area where you want to like keep falling back, but you got fire rats, you got berserkers.
Yeah, one thing that's happening here, like they're no longer pushing the cart. They're not getting any progress. They're just surviving, which they can do for a while, but
even if
it's
they
a bad
do,
place to be in right now.
they need Saltspire to die. They need him to respawn, and he's up over by the busted
Yeah, and
house.
he's just slowly bleeding out, which is extremely unfortunate for them.
And then
Unless they actually manage to go for it. Like, if there's no more enemies, they
Classic
might just get to
Vermintide.
revive. But I'm
They're gonna get
suspecting
up to
that
him.
there's going to be a bunch of enemies huddled against this body that just can't hit him for whatever reason.
It's gonna be classic Vermintide.
Yeah,
the second they
this
get up to
dwarf-
him,
this
they're gonna
dwarf
kill him.
getting waterfalled. He's going to make it. Might not make it.
Oh, he's got hammer. He's got taunt.
But it's going to stay. It's fine.
Salts is up. That's insane.
Yeah. There's somehow the Soulspire actually
dwarf
did
top-
not lead out in time. He's got the revive.
Dwarf
Now
taunt
they've got
going
a
out.
new
He's
wave
picking
of,
up these Chaos Warriors.
Warriors coming in.
That taunt's
They've
gonna
got
run
all
out.
full, and they're back here, which is not terrible.
Fire rat needs priority.
This
Let me
Ironbreaker is
Let
in the thick
mute
of it.
this.
He's taking damage. He's got his ult though, but he's okay.
He's
got
had to
some
use
temp
it
HP
2 or
from
3
the warrior
times.
Kill. See, he's got, as long as he's got his ult, he's not gonna die with that 50 HP. I don't think. But his ult, that
There
ult
we
is
go.
running out now. He's got walk it off, so he's still got some damage reduction. So it's worse, like the walk it off and the mercenaries and stacking up with like Ironbreaker resistance and other things like that. Like it's so much damage reduction.
He's
Allows you
also
to take so
rolling.
much damage without going down.
He's also rolling bark skin as well. I've seen it a couple
Yeah,
of
it's
times.
box
So
skin too. Like it all stacks up, adds up, and you end up like be able to take so much damage compared to.
oh wow, that's what kill on HP on
Yeah, on
kill gives
kill.
you. He
HP
just got
on
a
kill
full
against
bar.
Chaos is very powerful.
One Chaos Warrior, 2 Berserkers gave him his whole
Yeah,
bar
it's one of the
back.
things with the Berserkers. Like the Berserkers is usually easier than monks, but for some reason they get 15 temporary health from health on kill compared to the monks that only get 8, even though they've got the same health, which.
I just think in
kinda
general, both of those units should give you
weird
more
design.
temp HP on
There's
kill.
an assassin in there. The dwarf is in trouble.
One more
It's
assassin.
sliding out.
Oh.
Which other captain went down again?
Okay, the save from the
There's
mercenary
an
is there.
assassin going into round 2. Still,
Gutter Runner
finally
has
dead.
been down. They're splitting, and this I think that's a problem here.
Or not.
I mean, I get it. You got to get those barrels. You got to move it. You got to kill the bad guys. Maybe fan them out a little bit, but
Go.
you guys are on the other side of the courtyard now. Now you're on the other side of the gate.
Yeah, they're still surviving, but they got all 4 up, so not all hope is lost by far.
Okay, they're circling
Yeah.
around, going around counterclockwise, coming back up these stairs.
Pull them slash.
There was a taunt out by the dwarf.
I'll try to
They've
get
had
the
a nice
Ghost Warrior
recovery from losing 2 people. Honestly, it almost looked like the run was over for a
2
second,
people.
but
And they threw barrels in.
they made it. Yeah, that one barrel that they lit and then threw in. It's a great hammer. Is I actually ended
It's
up doing
working.
some work. Surprisingly, that this choice seemed weird at first, but it's paying off.
It's the charge attack. Being able to do the charge attack spam, it's going to
Yeah.
stop them. It's going to cause the stagger. It's a Hagbane, too.
Big whoop.
It is a Hagbane.
So it's all about creating a line of skirmish, kill all the trash, and then deal with the big boys later. There's a taunt out by the dwarf again. Every time it's up, they're going to burn it. They need to.
Yeah. Ooh, I think he took an overhead there, but there's just so much damage. Like, he had the dwarf ult, box skin. I don't think walk it off with up, but like box skin and the dwarf ult at the same time. Like that overhead did no damage. It dealt like 10 damage. It's silly.
This is going to be their last med kit, at least on them. I don't know if there's
Using the
another one out
medkit
there.
just for green HP. They're at that point.
Yeah.
They don't want to fail. That was a weird choice. Like the Witch Hunter captain is 1 down, and they decided to use the medkit on the dwarf instead.
Well, I think
You
he
really
had
don't want
his
the
own
Baron
healing
Breaker to
pot.
die.
In a moment. Fuck.
This is going to be another taunt. It should be.
3 fights is starting to annoy me. You have to
I think they're
Oh, that's not the problem.
holding it a bit.
Ooh. Oh, no, that was a shove. That wasn't a hit.
No, there's the taunt.
Oh, but a taunt right as soon as you
Well,
get hit by a
He's got
Packmaster.
taunt up, so we can take a few hits on this Backma. Yep.
If you're Packmaster grabbed and you have taunt up, can you still trigger Barkskin by getting hit?
Yes, you can trigger Balkskin even when you're downed.
So, okay,
It
so
makes you
yeah, that's
tankier when
actually
you're
not
downed
too
even
bad.
when you have Balkskin.
But it looks like they already got the barrels in. So now they just need to ignite and...
Yeah, they gotta prime it.
Here we go.
They're actually making it. It's by the skin of their teeth, but they're making it.
We need to go down.
I do think that they spent less time than
Okay, go
Bio's
down,
team.
Go right where the rattling is. Clear the first sword.
They're 22 minutes in.
Where do you see a timer? Where is that?
On
on the bottom right.
Stream at the bottom right.
I don't necessarily mean like on the map as a whole, but I feel like this event they cleared it pretty well, or at least the barrel part.
Yeah, I didn't even really see when the barrels got put in, besides that first one.
When I was saying, oh, they're split, they were actually dropping that third barrel in, so they were able to get the objective done while cleaning up the back as well. Man, fire rats are the name of the game. For me, that's... Okay, Rattling killing his own.
I think looking at the other streams, BioShift is up the elevator in Horn.
Alright, well, how's Exan doing?
I think, unfortunately, Examiner has wiped again, which was their last attempt for Pit.
Was it a wipe
And
or
now
was it
they're
a
moving
clear?
on to Empire and Flame. I think it was a wipe.
We're gonna get a boss here, I think.
It was a wipe.
Kill it. Just done.
Well, they're going to be moving on to Empire and Flames. This is the beginning of the map. We're going to come back to them. They're keeping the same team comp in general. I actually really like this. The little hat and then the wizard, like, spires, kind of. To tell who's who. I like that.
Cover me for a second. Okay, the potion to the elf.
Take a look at the rest of this event here.
Should be clear. Just go up. To the finish. Go up.
Oh, they're talking about it. Do we just race to the end? That's something you can kind of do here, like you said earlier. You can kind of do that on this particular map. I feel like there's just so many paths for the enemies that they waste more time getting to you than anybody dying. Blightstorm is actually a help at that spot. Oh. Going back, dropping a taunt. They are going to complete this map, it looks like, with all 4 alive.
Just gonna jump inside the fucking portal and call it a day.
All right, so
There's
there's
not
their
much
victory.
that stops you from just running in this finale. And
That's
with the
their
whole
victory.
Team, with the whole team being on the same page.
Oh, let's take a look at stats. I
it usually
forgot to look at
happens
stats.
fairly well.
So you're looking at, wow, it's almost 2,000 vermin spawn. 33,000 damage by that elf. It's pretty good. And only only 400 damage taken. Jeez. Okay. Let's
That
take,
is some gaming.
they are actually right on the Horn event. This is the opening area.
BioShift's team and the Horn event already.
Yeah, they've made it there. They are making incredible time. Before they start this event, real quick, I just want to go ahead and who was it? It was Insane Scientist and Cheese Duck. We were talking about like how does this all work? Basically, there are 4 maps to complete. You have 5 attempts to complete a map. Each time you have to re-attempt a map, you get less points. And there are difficulty modifiers as well. I don't know which one they're all playing on, but we're going to assume that this is Cata 3. So 4 maps, 5 attempts each map. 3-hour long event. So, did they blow the horn? Doesn't look like. No, they didn't.
Not yet. They're just cleaning. Like just like the same as with the pit. The normal spawns do not stop until the very moment you blow the horn, unlike in normal maps where it's giving you like freebies. So click yourself before it happens.
I don't know if you already said this, but the dwarf went back to dual hammers.
Monks on the left. Right
And then we've
side.
got 12 shots on the merc, so that's the blunder, right? No, that's the handgun. I'm gonna have to watch.
12
Bio.
shots would be either the blunderbuss or the handgun.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the handgun. I don't think they would have changed anything up. They're using the spear.
We're talking about BioShift's stream here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, BioShift was always on the blunderbuss. He hasn't used the handgun. It was
Oh, it was Exan and Oldens.
and /Gex that had this other different build. So yeah, I don't think they've changed anything in their comp here besides the use of the executioner and
Oh, someone crashed.
We've got a crash. It's-
Picked up some art and they crashed, but they're able to pause it thanks to this being a modded realm.
Thankfully, it's not the host that crashed, so we're still gonna have.
Yeah,
They're
let's
still gonna
take
be
a
able
look
to
at-
continue this run once they've dealt with this.
Oh my god.
This looks like
That's
two
gonna happen.
people leaving the game, 2 crashes.
Uh-oh. Well, I mean, it still looks as though that Ice is
Actually,
still...
BioShift crashed as well, so I think it's all 3 clients that crashed. So but as long as the host still has the game running, it should still save. Like all the health balls and everything that save. You've
Yeah.
got the bots still there in their positions. So with the
should be
game
alright.
pause, it shouldn't matter.
When is the legendary unpaid amateur team playing? That's actually interesting if you're serious about a lower tier difficulty. I don't want to say lower tier. That's kind of addicting to say. Just like legend, Cata. That's interesting to kind of consider playing like that. Okay. They're rejoining the game. They'll be rejoining. We'll take a look at that later. Looks like they are prepping to do Horn of Magnus.
I think we've had a wipe on Hold On.
Oh, really?
Yep, they're back in the keep.
Maybe they're switching up team comp? And the Exan's team, they just entered the city limits. Just past the gate, the first initial drop down, they're about to get into it and start going through the alleyway. I don't necessarily know if you're going to go through the alley. Oh, they're dealing with beastmen. Oh, no. Beastmen are tough. They're
We've not
meaty.
faced, much beastmen so far on this these few maps. Yeah, they're taking
You know, a hot take. I actually like Beastmen.
Hey, I like beastmen too. Honestly, I do.
Their hordes aren't so.
I like how meaty they feel, how dense they feel. Like you could be swinging that two-handed hammer, and they don't really care. The first 2 guys are like, "Ow," and the rest of them are like, "We're still gonna hit you."
Like they're scathing, but they're not.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's one thing that's interesting. The goals, the mainstay of the beastmen, they've got less health and mass than the Roders do, but they deal more damage. Which is why like the fact that their hordes are comprised entirely of them makes them really dangerous.
Nice, got the great. Well, I kind of feel like just from playing, it just feels like beastmen
The banners do suck. Though.
can definitely take a hit a lot
But
better
any of the
than
map names
Skaven
you said, I literally
or
don't like
the
that.
Chaos.
So I don't give a shit.
Well, they've got less health per unit, but there's usually a lot more goals than there are Marauders around,
I'm
which is what makes this feeling.
Do you think they're more stagger resistant than Chaos, but less health? I could see that, especially when you're talking like Beast of Gores.
As much as people bitch and moan
I have
about
2 modes: miss completely or headshot.
It seems like they're still having fun.
This Blightstormer
Oh,
needs
nice.
to die.
Oh man,
They got him.
that
There it
last
is.
second,
Yeah.
It could also be zoom. I know I specifically take the handgun because I love the zoom in. The crossbow has it too, though.
So looking at the bio in the middle of the
As much as people bitch and moan about
own event.
Beastmen, I find them.
Additionally, his bio is back on the Executioner right now. Did they switch?
Nah.
Did they switch weapons with the restart there?
I don't know.
I think he had
wasn't
a
listening.
Tuskbo spear at the beginning, did he?
Yeah, it was a spear, and that's another crash.
I didn't unsubscribe.
What is happening here?
Restart the map and not have people spawner.
We should restart the map because it's fucking retarded.
Something's happening that's making them.
Doesn't
They're
count as
considering
third,
restarting the map.
I know. I mean, what can we do?
Well, they're not that in that great of a situation on this game pause right now. The Witch Hunter Captain is in gas with 24 health. Dwarf is down.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're resetting the map.
He's hovering over that quit button. Aw.
Feature spawner because of that.
Just something was happening. Somebody kept desyncing or dying, or they're not dying, but something happened. Something causing crashes.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, it should be enough.
Hopefully that's not happen to all of the groups. I don't
Yeah,
think there's anything
the event.
particularly wrong with Horn of Magnus, and then it's got to be.
Can anybody ask him what was causing the crashes? Can somebody ask him that?
Well,
You picked up art? I did see that. Someone did pick up art and then someone did crash, but would art actually cause that to be a problem?
probably one thing that I say is probably is not Onslaught's fault, because that would probably cause the host to crash as opposed to the clients, if anything. But it's the client in this case that were crashing.
Maybe it was caught. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it's too small. I can't reach
I think this counts.
No.
I don't think this counts as a wipe for them, because it was crash as per the rules.
Yeah, it has to be a wipe, but I don't hold
Yeah, the
control of
situation
that.
they were in as they decided to quit wasn't the best, but it also wasn't over yet. So
Yeah, and they were still alive and doing stuff. Just something was causing crashes. So we'll see how the judges feel about that. So we've got Olden. They're heading into the first drop down, Horn of Magnus.
Yep.
And this particular spot can be silly.
There's a chaos pet.
Gotta turn that down a little bit. This spot can be kind of silly.
It
Sometimes you
always
get,
is. I
oh
don't
yeah,
know
see there
why.
you go. They got their
Big
chaos pet
hardcore,
right off the
fucking
bat. This spot can either be nothing will spawn, you just deal with a horde. It could be you get chaos warriors. It could be
No,
you get a
don't.
boss.
It's awful.
You could get all three.
yeah, it leads into this big open
mean,
area, which
I
has
don't
plenty of
think there's
space for
another
ambience to
person in
spawn,
the
so you can get a very large amount of
community who
ambience
hates the players
that
more
just
than
flood
he
in
does
because
the
they all get
player.
aggroed from
Having a
Horde.
sick bastard
And they're
will
gonna
show
have to
with
deal with
something
this
like
chaos
deficient
patrol and a horde.
Yeah,
It seems.
good
But
fucking-
they
I
should
don't
be
believe it
fine. They
was
took care of the
patrol, I
gas
believe it
rat.
was just some ambient
Circus.
warriors and yes, the Horde.
Oh, I thought I heard patrol.
Oh.
Like I thought I heard them call it out, but it looks like it's just maulers, berserkers, and horde. I'm gonna leave them here. I want to take a look at Exan, see what they're doing. They are just passing the first Grim location. Oh! That quick swap, her quick swap almost killed her.
I just saw that.
I didn't notice. This is new. Can I break it? Yes, I can.
I found some ammo.
What'd you find?
A breakable vase? I don't know. I think that's been there.
Fire Rider?
But they're dealing with beastmen. They're dealing with chaos. They're dealing with Skaven. Like,
Yeah, it seems to currently be a mix of Skaven and Beastmen.
yeah,
You got it.
for the most part. And then they're just getting like the chaos. Looks like just the blight stormers and the leeches.
Pack?
You've got two people that are on last down currently, even though they do have a medkit.
Oh, hello.
Ooh, picked up. Yeah, I guess they could clear wounds on each other if Lobster healed Marble. Ooh, or is he gonna use it on
You guys have
Garza?
fire over
Garza.
And the captain is just going down.
You got 3 last
Really
stands.
picked up though. So yeah, 3. That medkit will probably be used at this point.
How does the damage
I don't know
from
why
the
it hasn't been
archers
already.
translate in this mode?
What now?
How does the damage from archers translate in this mode?
There's nothing down
Like,
here.
is there like a damage scale up on the archers? Are they dealing more damage?
In the current state of Winds of Magic, the damage received is about still the same as normal Cataclysm, since it doesn't really scale up more from Cat 3. The difference that Death Wish has over normal Cat 3 is that you don't have this the
Hey, what's up,
stagger
Dan?
multiplier, it's called, is
you should be
increased
close
whenever
by.
you go to Cat 3, so even though the enemies have more
You're
health than
placing
normal Cat
confidence
3
in
and
me,
Weeds,
and
for
now I
example,
am nervous.
the damage you deal from stagger levels is higher as well, but not in Death Wish. In Death Wish, you still have the same stagger multiplier as you do in normal Cata 1,
Okay.
regardless of it being Cata 3 health values and stagger resistances, which are also adjusted to be even higher than normal Cata 3, so that the enemies are more stagger resilient.
Got their monks coming in. I feel most drop downs. JSAT, hail to you.
Hey,
Thank you for coming in.
127
That's
people
insane.
coming in.
127 Vermin Slayers. Hail to you, champions.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for checking this out. This is the Onslaught Tournament. We've got 3 teams playing right now.
Assassin.
Right now we're taking a look at Exan. They are in Empire of Flames. We are also watching, who is this? We have Olden and Slash. They are doing Horn of Magnus. Looks like they're coming up towards...
New recruit! All hail the new recruit!
Thank you for that, Neo. They're making their way downtown. They're pretty close to where the old home was. And then we
We
also
got
have
those,
Iceolator and Bioshift. They also are on Horn of Magnus. They just had to do a restart. They were having a bunch of crashes. Drago, hail to you. Ooh, 2 overheads. We got a wizard
so
dead.
far, the,
Oh no,
only we've
Bard
got
in dead.
someone
That's a
wiping.
wipe.
Is healing over here?
New recruit! New recruit! All hail the new recruit!
Riss, thank you for that. So we do have Horn of Magnus here on the Isolator and Bioshift. This is going to be their 2nd attempt.
Unfortunately, they had
had a
such a perfect
crash.
record so far.
I'll carry that.
Yeah, they only had 1 crash. Uh-oh, what's going on? There we go.
We are stocked up.
So we're going to go ahead and keep our eyes here on Exan's team. You
So
have
far, the current record for all the new people coming in, we've had Bioshift, which up until right now, where they've just had a wipe on Horn of Magnus. They were blazing through at first. They went through the pit and Empire and Flame flawlessly. And they actually went through Horn of Magnus all the way up to the end event, but had to restart because people were crashing, unfortunately. And now on this restart, they've just had an unfortunate
more meager
hit with
the
Beastman,
better.
and now they're officially down 1 attempt. And then for Oldon and Slash Kicks, we've got they've had I believe it was
Oh, what's
2
going
on the
on
2nd attempt. They've cleared pit. They've had 1 wipe on pit on the end event, and then managed to clear it on the 2nd one, and then successfully cleared Empire and Flames on the 1st attempt. And now they're currently on. Is this their 1st or 2nd attempt on Horn of Magnus now?
whose team?
Oldon.
This is their 1st attempt.
He's right
So
above
first
us.
step on
Watch to
Horn
the
of
left when
Magnus.
you wet.
Yeah, this is their
And
1st attempt.
then Examiner's team, which unfortunately they've made it to the end event of pit on their 1st attempt, but wiped on it, and then unfortunately
Yeah, they
ended up
keep
having
getting
a
hit.
series of wipe on pit
Come on,
and
Seth,
had to
come
abandon that
down.
map. And now they're, I believe, on their 1st attempt for Empire and Flame, or was it their
No,
2nd?
just
I think
the
this is
old
their
up and
1st.
over and down and enter.
Yeah, on pit they
Down
just
and over and down.
it just turned. Uh-oh, don't do the art. Don't do the art.
We got the art.
Yeah.
On pit for
I think I saw
Exan's
some
team,
art
it was they
earlier
got to
up
the
on
end
top of the
event, then
house
they got
when we were
boxed
fighting
in,
the
shoved off the
other
bridge.
Beastman horde.
And then after that, it was Storm Fiend problem with the Chaos Patrol. And then it was overhead after overhead specials. Bunch of pain coming at them. So, Exan is the host. Okay, well, good. Yeah. So this is the event. I don't know if you guys know what's going on, but it's 4 maps on Cata 3, Deathwish Onslaught. Oh no, I think it's just Onslaught. And it's 4 maps,
Yeah, Cata 3,
5
Deathwish
attempts. Cata 3. Our maps are going to be the Pit, Empire in Flames, Horn of Magnus, and Enchanter's Lair.
And I can't wait to see them deal with
Enchanter's
the
Lair.
Enchanter's Lair.
Dude, it's going to be nuts.
That's gonna
And
be interesting.
if you haven't heard my voice before, you don't know what I look like. My name is Ishka TV. Typically, I RP wear plate mail. Loving some Vermintide. And with me, my co-host is Grimalek, who is the creator of this wonderful mode that we get to watch.
Yep, the teams do have the choice between Cata 1, Deathwish Onslaught, and Cata 3.
Yeah. And if they fail a map,
New recruit! All hail the new recruit!
if they fail that map and they want to go back to the lobby and say, hey, let's scale back and let's go to Cata 1 instead of Cata 3, you can do that. There's a scoring system. You don't want to fail, obviously. If you're able to one-shot a map, that's the highest score you can get. The more attempts you have to take, the less score you get.
Wow.
Is that Leith? Leithlid?
He saw us.
Or Leithlid? Welcome to the stream.
Just storm fiend things, you know.
Man, Storm Fiends are
Just
the
let
worst.
us
How they're
murder
scared
you
with their own
already.
fire, man.
Maybe if we hide back in this corner.
It's not a big ass.
Thank you.
There he
There
is.
we go.
But so far, the teams have done really well. We're going to take care of the Storm Fiend.
There we go.
It's going to take a look here. And then for those of you who are still interested in later streams, we do have $249. And we have Incandescent and Sleazy Rats who will be playing 1 hour, or I should say 2 hours from now. They're going to be Australian teams playing. They're just not streaming right now.
Got the gutter. Sassed it down. Oh!
If we take a look at Oldon, they're about to come into the first event of
Best
Horn of
of
Magnus.
Okay, well, let's take a
They're
look
just
at that.
clearing up things before that event. And like I've mentioned the last time when BioWare were on it, while this event by itself isn't particularly difficult, although it still has boss in it, it's an event where you really don't want to have anyone die in, because if they do die, they'll end up respawning after the plaza at the bottom of the stairs, which there's another boss trigger before they respawn that they can end up getting. So you really want to still have your full team to deal with all of that.
Can you explain more on that, Cheese? I don't think I understand what you mean. That they made the mod behind BBB? Did they? Are you saying that they basically did all the work for the devs? Created like the changes to the weapons? It's 4 in the morning.
The current beta is based upon the rebalance mod that was made by the community. Which
Oh,
is a really
that's
cool thing to see.
awesome. Hey, sometimes I'm really good at extrapolating data, and other times, that's a joke.
They're getting fucking bodied, dude.
So
Yeah,
they've got
use
their
this,
troll as well.
Same barrel and they're using pretty much the same defense spot as BIOS team. It's a pretty standard spot for the higher level dealing with this event.
They're going to be doing
Up
a
until you
single
have to pull up
person
the barrel.
running. Maybe
They've
they'll
also got a
rotate
troll.
runner. No, they're not rotating runners. And the other thing is that they didn't have to. It didn't get so hairy with them before. A couple of glory hits in there. It was Bio's team that the Witch Hunter captain had dropped almost
Yeah, the
immediately.
down, like every ult got used for that Witcher captain to live because they really didn't want that.
Fucking moonwalked away from me.
So
They
far they're
threw
doing
the
good,
taunt out?
getting a second barrel, moving through, just casually strolling while everything is happening.
Yeah, we need to kill them all here.
Bonk a Chaos Warrior or two on the way.
There you go.
So the dwarf is kind of doing his
Uh-oh.
own thing,
Waste
trying to
Stalker
stay
getting
away
down.
from edge running barrels, but he's catching the attention of the troll. Unfortunately, the elf is down. That's could be bad.
Elf is down.
This looks like
Okay, they
the
got
elf
her
will
up.
be picked up. Although, maybe the dwarf shouldn't be bringing the troll over there.
Yeah, this
there
is.
you go.
You got everywhere else. Have some vomit, guys. That's what elves drink on a regular basis.
They're making it so far. It looks like they're going to go for the kill on the troll already before the event's even over.
They got a
So,
Blightstormer coming out.
Troll kill.
Elf dropping that F. I love how the two-headed hammer Iron Breaker is the one doing the barrels.
That
Right?
Grey Hammer Iron Breaker is doing work, gotta say.
Grey Hammer is one of my favorite weapons. In the new Big Balance, I really, really like the Great Axe. But for anybody watching this is the live
Yeah,
modded
this is
run.
played on the live balance, not the beta.
Right. I really enjoy what they did with those weapons in the Big Balance. We can talk about that later. I think that's what everybody's been talking about in the Vermintide community lately. But right now they are doing what's live. Talk about the team comp real quick. You guys haven't seen it already, haven't put it together. You got your Iron Breaker, you got your Waste Stalker, Witch Hunter Captain, and the Mercenary. I don't know specifically the talents that they brought, but you can assume that there's a walk it off. You can assume that there's a, I don't know, for the Iron Breaker, what do you think? Damage buff or increased radius?
I think it might have been the damage buff from what I've seen of the buffs.
Oh, yeah, it is.
not
He just
sure.
used it. He just popped it. You can see it in the buffs dwarfs.
Yeah, there is the damage buff on the other stream, so it is the damage
Yeah.
buff I believe is being run right now.
A lot of people rolling the bark skin. And I think if you look at just like the way their ammo is on this team, Mercenary with the repeater handgun, Witch Hunter Captain with the crossbow, and the handgun, I think on the dwarf.
I had to wait until there was a gap behind the.
And the elf has
patrol, so
34
it
shots,
leaves
so we're
with the
looking at
stormer and kill it.
Hagbane. I wonder if I can increase the quality here.
Taking a quick look at the other teams, BioShift successfully successfully dealt with a chaos spawn at the open place of the first polyphone, and they're moving through. Examina is coming up to the event of Empire and Flame, doing well on this map so far.
Yeah.
Cleaves with the fucking stormer, but
Okay, so they're making their way through. They still have the stair and the tavern event. Well, not event, but area that they need to go through, and then the rooftops. Oops. Then when we look here at BioShift, they are just cheese vendor. All right, so they're still at pretty early in the map. Not really.
Olden is having some difficulties with assassins right now. Got their mercenaries down. The assassin is being dealt with. The mercenary is down for good.
So this is going to be another gate event in a second over here on Iceolator, but I just want to see what these guys are up to.
I don't think it's worth it.
okay, fine.
They're over by the first Grim.
Regroup, guys.
Yeah, coming.
Oh, this is second Grim, isn't it?
Which team?
I'm sorry, Olden's team.
Olden's team
Second Grim,
is,
yeah,
yes,
because
that
the
is
first
the
one's in the
second
church.
Grim area for the scheme. Naming the areas by the their book locations in Horn of Magnus specifically is kind of iffy because I'm still slightly ever used to the locations of Vermintide 1, which are slightly different than the ones in Vermintide 2.
They are in a little bit of trouble.
In Vermintide 2, the second Grim ones in the area they're in.
Guys, right upstairs.
They are in a little bit of trouble. The mercenary is dead. He's just upstairs, right outside the tavern. Maybe in like the pins, right outside the tavern. But we'll come back to them. I want to take a look where Examine is
They're a
at.
man down, but their run is nowhere near over right now.
Oh yeah.
They're
They should be fine. They should be able to recover from that. But speaking of recovery, Exan's team is at the Empire and Flames event.
Yes.
2 people back up. Oh, I was scared for them for a second.
Ooh, the double down.
Oh, that gas is gonna tear them up. That's 2 down.
Are they gonna manage to pick that up? Yeah, they're picking it up.
The big thing was the gutter runner. That gutter
2
runner
dead.
caused 2 to die really quickly. And now those gas rats are gonna cause a problem too.
Well,
if
the
it makes them...
respawn is in the event proper, which means they can they can get it.
I love how
It is
Cooper
still
takes a
not
single
over yet,
kick
as
of
long as
damage.
these two clutch it.
Doesn't even take damage. And everyone's just like, why are you breathing?
They're gonna have to
be
figure out how to
tight.
get around this. Otherwise, their backs are gonna be against the wall. And these Belvederes get free
gonna
damage.
do some damage, but they have bark skin. That's what it's there for.
And they've got Walk It Off too.
Oh, that overhead.
It's too quick.
Elf's not dead yet. Still got a healing draft too to recover from that.
They just need to find time to pass. Oh no, they used it. Okay, good. Gas rat down.
There's a Chaos Warrior on
Yeah, it looks like that's their time. They have to run to the respawns right now.
Go,
Pick up their team's healing. Looks like they will
Hold that
get
charge
the
attack.
revives
No,
here.
just go for it.
Looking the Ares
for it.
here. Everything's clear. They should move in before while they have.
They're gonna get so much pressure on them. There he is.
They
Nice.
should go in for this respawn. They wanted the leech, I suppose. There comes in the revives.
There we go.
Okay.
No,
The
they
good
can
news
come
is
in
that
the
they
event, but
They didn't touch the cart.
There's the other.
Push back.
Yeah, the event whopper was not started. There was still just normal map spawns that was pushing them in, but now it's the event with all those Chaos Warriors.
In this particular
See if they
team
can
comp,
deal with this successfully.
this particular team comp, you got your Witch Hunter Captain, your Battle Wizard, Waste Stalker, and the Mercenary. We've got a Bill Hook, a Spear.
Dealing very well with the barrel event. They've got a Rat Ogre this time, but it's being dealt with successfully. Should still focus on Examiner.
Fire Rats. Oh man, if I could.
Yeah, this event is meaty with the chaos.
Here comes the gas. You
They're
got
all
two
holding up.
Globadiers. Free damage coming in. Wizards down.
Held slow. They're getting AoE'd by this gas really hard. Ooh.
There's a Walk It Off.
Ooh.
They're getting pushed out.
Yeah, that they
They're gonna
really
have to
need
let
it.
the Wizard die.
The wizard seems down for good up until the respawn anyway.
There's some healing right there on the other side. Maybe someone will pick it up. Yep, Salty got it.
There's a rat ring.
Oh, I'm down.
Monks. Oh, I'm sorry. Berserkers.
Berserkers.
Can you get me there?
Waste Stalker down.
Yeah, the whole team is kind of low as well. They're having. Oh no.
What a pickup. Oh, Rattling.
Another captain, last standing.
No.
We're gonna get the
She
pickup.
shot the bastard.
There's the pickup. And the
Rattling
elf
down.
isn't quite dead yet. That miss on the
fire down.
rattling isn't. Now we're.
Oh no.
Oh, last standing.
There's a leech in there
Mercenary
too.
last standing.
They need to clear these stairs right now and get out of here.
Yeah, they need. That merc needs to get up the stairs and leave.
Get up there. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
A second to heal.
Oh, you can't be serious. What is that?
That was an assassin.
Assassin. They got assassin, rattling, and gas right in their face. Oh.
This event is unforgiving.
You had
So much aggression to have to deal with.
nothing. You probably should have healed. And
The
then
other
all of a sudden,
teams, I
next
think,
second
when
you
they
had
did this,
gas
they had an
rat
Ironbreaker instead of the Waste Stalker. So the Ironbreaker was able to just keep taunting,
Yeah,
eat a couple of overheads, get his taunt back up, and keep
That's why Iron
spamming it.
Breakers are being brought. That taunt is with such a large uptime and the damage buff that makes up for the Iron Breaker himself not having that much DPS.
So we've got Isolator's team. Looks like they're just finishing the
Yeah,
plaza.
the other two team just running through Horn so far, being both successful at what they're doing.
I could up the quality on this, guys, but I can't watch them all fully simultaneously. So you guys let me know if you would rather have me have the quality up. I would have to keep pausing and restarting the streams. Or if what we're looking at right now is acceptable, it's livable, and we can keep playing through with this. At least for our group, we use Radius. It depends. If I'm doing Winds of Magic, I don't typically play Deathwish Onslaught. So for me, it's usually Weaves. It's usually the CataDWONS stuff there. If I'm Ironbreaker, I usually like to bring in the. It depends. It depends on the finale. But for the most part, I always bring in increased radius and time. They're going up the elevator. they're going to be heading towards the
Yeah,
finale.
the increased radius is more of the pubby and selfish option. With a team like that, they don't need the radius as much because they're also tight that the taunt does hit everything it needs to.
That's true.
And then, yeah, that damage buff really helps out the team to make up for the lack of DPS of the Iron Breaker himself.
It's like a
In the big balance beta, has anybody tried doing the taunt with plus damage and then with the shield every time you guard something, the 2% damage for 6 seconds? Can you effectively give your team 30% increased damage?
Not that familiar with the new Iron Breaker talents on that beta. I wouldn't be able to answer that, unfortunately.
The only problem I think doing that is when you're that Iron Breaker and you're like, all right, I taunted and I'm standing and I'm guarding. You know, like you're not doing anything.
Yeah, for the most part, there's no point in which it's really worth to just stand there and block for anything.
Like, I can see when that's useful in very rare times, but oh, mid-jump shot to the face. They're taking care of a bunch of maulers right now. Looks like it's about 8 or 10 of them. That's true. If you're able to maintain a block every couple of seconds. Is there a spectate mod? It would be interesting.
Not, unfortunately, but it would be very interesting if one was ever made.
Well,
I mean, we've got the technology for like multiple, more than 4 players.
Yeah. So if, all right, modders, if you can hear me, if you make a spectate mod, not only would it work in something like this, or multiple players, but on the same token of multiple players, let's talk versus. Spectating in a versus match.
Get rid of your med packs if you can.
We'll have to see versus itself before that.
Deneb, I'll take it there. I'll take Vermintide to a weird quasi esport. I mean, what was it? What was the other game that was similar to this? As far as 4 players and like a enemy team, it could be like Evolve.
There's a firebomb here.
Check them here. Speed.
Nothing else.
But if you feel like it gets too tight here, just say it and we'll move. There's no reason not to move. So.
Okay.
So they're about to start the event. Let's take a look at where everybody is. We've got Inflame, Empire in Flames are going to start again.
On the rooftops.
Oh, Zalspire.
They're looking good. All of their health is
Zalspire is down on Exan's team.
Yeah. Sun is still struggling.
I'm just saying, she's the root of the evil.
They are on the rooftops, making their way towards that. Let's take a look at this event.
Yeah, hold on. About to start the event.
Oh, Bess, I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. I heard you say what up. All right, I saw you say what's up. Hail to you, champion. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay. Took out about 4 monks right there. They got a bunch of storm vermin, a bunch of trash dropping in on them. This place, this little alcove area, has always been the go-to defending spot in this event.
Both Vermintide 1 and Vermintide 2, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one thing you could do, Onion. You could give the 5th player the ability to just, like, you know, slash kill so that they can get themselves down quickly and immediately go into a spectating position. It would just be annoying to seeing waiting to be revived flash on the screen every 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was me. I'm back on full ammo now, so all good.
The strength to the
Zero says Magnus event is usually pretty rough on Onslaught. We saw BioShift's team do it. Oh no, they crashed.
Yeah,
they didn't even complete it.
They were like trying to do it, and then they weren't dead, but yeah, the crash.
Yeah, something happened. They started to crash. We're looking at, like, right in front of us. We just saw I'd say 7 maulers, 8 maulers. That looks like a crash.
Fast.
Yeah, / crash. Something about this event is causing people to crash.
Is it?
Timer is 29:30 roughly.
That's unfortunate. What's happening with Horn of Magnus?
Yeah, and we got this on stream too. So 29:30, they did as well, obviously. But we can see right here at some point, someone crashed 15 seconds ago. Everybody dropped out. Oh, that sucks. Can somebody let them know that this also happened to Bio's team as well? They're headed up to the elevator right now to get to theirs as well, so they're going to give it another attempt.
It's like it's a crash that's harder to catch when just testing, since it doesn't seem to affect the host.
Yeah, something something here, and it's similar, right? We have gas on screen. There's the Chaos Warriors that are in. So if they have a rattling in this area, then it's at the exact same time.
Or we can start again, and it doesn't count against.
They might need to
see
skip.
what the
If someone rejoins and has a crash again, they might have to skip. But let them know if you guys can.
To be honest, I'm fine with.
Oh no, Exan's having a last stand here. Empire in flames, 3 people down. Looks like level 12 lobster just recently died.
Okay, I'll wait in the keep.
Hate to see it.
Is it better to spam the charge attack for movement speed like that?
I believe it's better to just hold it, really.
Oh, Packmaster doing the shout.
Yeah, chances are this is a wipe. Last standing on this difficulty usually doesn't go well.
The mobility
for more than
isn't
30
there, not
seconds
for Kruger.
anyway. He's making an attempt, though.
You got this, Exan. Let's see it happen. There you go. Taking out. Oh, what was that? It's like the Berserker hit her spear and she took damage. Oh, BM gas rat. Big North stagger. Oh, on this difficulty, I guess. Novus, hail to you, welcome.
Berserkers are very resilient to stagger.
Only if you block before the damage window comes out. Otherwise, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Otherwise, hold the charge attack. Okay, so it's about speed and timing. All right, we're gonna look here. This is a switch over to
Bio's team is
Isolator.
coming up to the event. Hopefully, they can try to clear it without it crashing. I don't know what's happening with Horn and Magnus today, but
We haven't wiped yet.
yeah, bit of a
We
disruption.
haven't wiped yet. There's
well, Exan, can you explain the rules to everybody in here, please?
There we go. Uh-oh. I think I have too many streams live right now. Hold on. I gotta pause you. My bandwidth. My computer.
I got him.
Okay. So they're about to start the event here. This is Iceolator and BioShift.
Yep, they're starting in, and then everything good so far.
That's what I'm here for, Kale. Just call it. No, it's kind of hard to tell, but these guys crashed. Let's see. Olden had crashed, what, 26:30? Not to say that these guys are on the exact same time.
Would matter, but
yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's like the time in the event more so than the time in the map.
Right. We'll just keep our eyes out. The big thing here is to notice when the gas rats start showing up, the rattling showing up, and the Chaos Warriors. Once that combo hits, we'll see people start crashing. Maybe it's just a coincidental bug.
Okay. It didn't crash, so
I hope it's coincidence.
Yeah, we crashed on the cat.
Right?
No, we crashed.
I crashed here.
Yeah.
Being here in 25 minutes is pretty crazy, just in general.
Yeah, those teams are insane. It's
You see how they're fanning out a little bit on their defense? They have 2 people in this little window, and then 2 people just to the right of it. No one on the stairs.
one thing that might try to be happening here, like Bios Bios team might try to play it a bit more aggressive, just to try and overpower the Crash as opposed to the mobs. Hopefully they don't pay the price for that.
Here come in a couple of Chaos Warriors. You got the Blender doing some work on a couple of Maulers. Witch Hunter Captain out in center with that bill hook. So I think one more wave after this is where people were crashing.
Yeah, whenever the specials come in.
Yeah. So now you've got those 8 Maulers. They just tore apart. You got Berserkers, Chaos Warriors coming in.
Getting deleted.
Yeah, they're doing amazing. The spear is incredible for this. The control and the damage. The bill hook, of course, incredible for control. It looks like you got dual hammers on that dwarf, and the wizard is using a regular sword.
On top of the horn.
Ratling and Gas died together. 2 Ratlings dead. I want to take care of this Gas Rat. Is it the fire sword?
Yeah.
The dot makes more sense.
It's about the only weapon that really gets used at this point with the wizard.
Shield armor on the right.
It's fast. Like it's got all the control in the world.
So that was the 2 Ratlings and the 2 Gas Rats were killed. I'm seeing Storms, and I'm hearing Monks. Flame Sword, Bolt Staff, 100%. Yeah, and in the range, you've got Crossbow and Barden, Crossbow and Salts, and a Blunder on the Mercenary.
Doing good so far.
Dude, this attack rotation on the bill hook is insane.
Let's see. The Chaos Wave, this is where it would crash if it
Yeah.
is consistent like that.
They took care of one of those Gas Rats.
Yep. The Witch Hunter Captain taking a hit there.
His jump
But
attack,
everything seems
he
good.
is on it. Look at this.
Use the money sources.
Just over the
someone's
shoulder.
grabbed. A hook got the dwarf. Dwarf is free.
All right, here come the Chaos Warriors. I can hear the Gas Rat. 2 Fire Rats
the
dead.
dwarf again.
Overhead on Saltspire.
One hook.
Getting him back up. He's able to use that healing drop. Bombs coming out.
Dwarf is down, but he's getting picked up.
Yeah, I did. Pointing Simon.
It's not crashing so far.
Not yet.
They're having difficulties of other times,
Yeah.
but they're not crashing.
Here comes that Packmaster. We've got a Packmaster on the Iron Breaker. You can soak some of that damage a little bit.
The Blightstormer in this event, the special kind of brutal space to maneuver
Oh,
around
he keeps
it.
getting hit. He couldn't have got the crossbow off on the Ratling. Maybe he got it? Headshot. Back-to-back headshots. Very nice. You still have another Blightstormer coming in. There's a string
That's
pot going
several
down in
people
Saltspire.
going down. No one dead so far,
It's
which is
insane.
impressive.
They've had 3 people down.
Oh, still got plenty of healing. There's a lot of healing around this
It's a
event,
lot of damage that's going to hit on
all
Saltspire
the
right now. He
healing
might be
will
dropped.
reset there, down.
1 damage.
Whenever they
Oh,
do survive.
Saltspire down.
Oh, and they did it. They did it. Already it's over. No crashes. We're actually going to have a
Nice.
successful Horror Magnus this time.
They brute forced it. They killed more spawns. They killed spawns faster than they could spawn. The special faster than they could
That
spawn.
was a roller coaster with all those downs. That's
That's insane. There's still a Rattling up, but him being able to
they're
get
all free now.
there it is.
If they managed to wipe here, oh, that would be more than unfortunate.
I'm gonna. There we go. Let's catch up. Looks like I was a couple of seconds behind. Dude, he got back-to-back headshots when he needed them. On the Rattling, he got him on a Blightstormer. I think he missed once on a leash and then picked it back up. Immediately was able to turn around, pick up the Iron Breaker, as well as kill the hook rat that had him. So big plays. Congratulations on that victory for Iceolator, Bioshift, Simon, and Donor.
Officially, not counting the one where they crashed.
Yeah, the first crash didn't count, so that is attempt 2 for them.
Successful, yes.
Yeah.
And now moving on, Enchanter's Lair.
Yeah, oh, I'm so excited to watch that. They're switching up the team. Okay, we got a Waste Stalker next.
Yeah, for Enchanter's, like I said, there will be team comp adjustments for Enchanter's Lair. They need that boss DPS. They're gonna sing Ranger is gonna be taken.
Maybe they're thinking
gonna
about
get
it.
a massively different team comp.
Let's just take a real quick look while they figure out their team comps. They're going to take a look at these other teams. How do we? Does anybody? Are we tracking what happened with Olden and Slash? Did they
They're
crash?
currently in the keep, though, so I don't know. Obviously, like, they abandoned that one attempt that crashed. I suppose they'll be restarting.
Yeah.
We've got enough time for like 2 attempts, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Or maybe like 2
Yeah.
quick attempts.
Oh
and then
wow,
a
there's only
third one,
40
like,
minutes
before
left
the end of the timer, so we get to finish
of
that.
the event. Well, of the competition.
Oh, tight of a timing, considering the amount of attempts allowed. It's like you don't really have the time to get all those attempts in.
Yeah. Like those attempts, I think are really buffer if you just have a really bad patrol at the start, or somebody just eats an unlucky overhead or something like that, and that wipes, you know, like early on. You can't do it at finale over and over again. But they've got Empire in Flames here. They just got past the main city gates. They're going to be working their way up to the first drop down. Up to the first drop down. That's.
I'm gonna be right
Are
back.
you guys here? You watching this stream? Who's shoutcasting this? Okay, so they're grouping up again. They're going to be doing another attempt once everybody's fully connected. Unlucky overhead. It happens sometimes. Now, I'm assuming everybody here is on the same ping, or maybe 50, maybe 70 ping. I don't really know physical location of everybody, but I'm assuming what we're seeing here is EU team, NA team, just for the sake of connectivity. Yeah, Zero, I agree. Grim was saying that too, that Enchanter's Lair is a very different beast, not just because of the map, but because of the boss, the event and the boss.
The map itself is actually on the easy side. To be fair, it's the boss fight that's everything.
Deneb, it's all about perspective. I mean, if you're the Chaos Warrior, wouldn't it be lucky to land it? Come on, man. Chaos Warriors are people too.
See, the only team that's currently in a match right now is Examina.
Else on piercing shot? Okay. What just happened? What is this? FOV or something. On the Iceolator bio, if you look at bio, like why is his
it's the only the top left of his screen is being shown right now. I think it's just a slight issue with his
video
screen.
glitch.
He'll fix it, I'm sure.
Alright, Exan?
They're in the keep right now.
They pushed their way out, taking care of some berserkers, taking care of some leeches and maulers. Looks like they're going to take care of that horde. Working up to that first drop down, that first alleyway can be pretty stressful. The good news for them, I don't necessarily know if it's true good news, but they don't have to worry about beastmen just yet. They're just dealing with chaos.
So they're dealing with chaos instead of beastmen.
Yeah. And a big thing I think is also archers. Archers just get that little ping damage on you, and it's not necessarily the damage they do. It could be the fact that they hit you from the back and they stagger you. Yeah.
Time's a ticking.
Yeah.
I could have finished by now.
We've had... There we go. Enchanter's Lair, this is going to be on Olden and Slash, and that this is Isolator and Bio, so they're still gearing up.
Maximum points we can get.
They're still waiting for
like
one more person to join.
Skip one of Magnus because of the crashes.
And the time constraint, they only have 30 minutes. 35. They have 35 minutes. Let's not take time away from them.
I believe though that regardless of the time, like they get to finish whatever attempt they're currently in whenever the time is up. Like they're not cut off and they get to finish.
That's really good, because that kind of sucks if you're like right outside Nurgloth's lair and it's like, well, time's up.
No time's up like that. People get the finish attempt.
Game over. Step away from your computers. I'm excited to see this. All right, so we've got the mercenary with what looks like the great sword? Question mark?
On which one here?
On Olden. Looks like we can see a mercenary with a great sword.
And that's the new sword.
Oh, Bretonnian longsword?
I'm going to double check your mods.
Really?
Skip cutscene and stuff.
I don't know why my brain was telling me that he couldn't use it.
I mean, once you're in game.
The only thing that can't be used is if you're Grail Knight and you use the
Yeah, we're having some. I had some Discord issues for a sec here.
you can't the Grail Knight can't use the Spear or the Halberd because they're peasant weapons. Because they're for peasants. So here's the first little bit, the drop down. Anyway, we're looking at a Ranger veteran with dual hammers, maybe. I saw one hammer for sure. Yeah, it looks like dual with a grudge. And then we're going to be seeing a Waste Stalker with 34. What is that? Hag? Looks like they're using sword and dagger.
Yeah, used with the Waste Stalker primarily is piercing shot, which is this 100% refund on headshot ultimate, similar to the Bounty Hunter's double shot, which is like the most DPS you can ever pull on Nurglot, which is why it's been brought. It's there to kill Nurglot, very good.
Okay, so this is a boss slaying build.
Well,
and they're
boss
still gonna have
specifically
walk
for
it off.
Nurglot. But yeah, so this little drop down here where they fall into this bit after opening the door was actually an event. And yes, as per Onslaught rules, it is empowered. But a few more things.
But we're seeing a couple of deaths already. Waste Stalker down, and we just lost our Witch Hunter captain.
An assassin.
Packmaster being taken care of. There, the Waste Stalker's dead. Picked up Kruber with the other Packmaster, and Barden's gonna get overwhelmed. First attempt, Enchanter's Lair.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
What you have to do in the first event, I'm sorry, I'm being a bit
I had a bit of
bossy
delay
now.
on it, so
You have
it's
to follow the kite loop.
an attempt gone down the drain very quickly.
It's tough. It's the type of aggression that you get, and you're at their mercy. The only time I've ever noticed that you can get out of this room, the first drop down, is if you're lucky. I mean, extremely lucky, and you get a loot rat. If you get a sack rat in that room that you drop down, he can physically kick that door open, and you can get out of that room.
Yeah, classic fat shop coding that.
He like legit kicks it, and the door swings up, and he just runs. That's the only way you can get out of that room at the start. If you're lucky and get a sack rat.
Yeah, it's coded so that the enemies are the one opening the door as opposed to some event trigger. Which, yeah, the loot rat kind of messes with that because he's an unexpected enemy there.
Now, would you... Chat's talking about wanting to bring the grudge in for the boss, right? Would it make more sense to... but you lose the mercenary. If you took the huntsman and a blunder, would that be more efficient as far as damage is concerned?
Well, yeah, the Nurglot is considered a berserker enemy, in which, I mean, shotguns are good against berserkers, it's known. But I believe the mercenary is just that important. Like, that walk it off and that ult is just so good that you just can't afford to lose it, even for a huntsman. Especially, like, they're already bringing the Waste Stalker with the piercing shot ult, which is even more DPS than shotguns against Nurglot. And yeah, they've got the one shotgun already with Ranger, who's got the... The thing on Onslaught has those sorcerers added to the boss fight, which means that the Ranger veteran gets to use ammo pouches, which he actually can't normally on normal Cataclysm. So this Ranger veteran is going to have pouches mid-fight to shoot the shotgun even more than he normally could, which is why he's been brought.
Yeah, I see two teams now. I switched over to...
There's already 2 people dedicated to killing Nurglot. Like, you don't want to stack your entire team of that, because, you know, this is still Deathwish Onslaught. You can't just take everything and breeze to the rest of the map, because, you know, they still have a map to go through before they fight Nurglot.
Right.
And even when they're fighting Nurglot, they still need a front line that, you know, keeps the rest of the trash away from the ones trying to kill him. It's nice to have a huntsman and everything, but if there's no one killing the trash, though, that huntsman is just going to be fighting trash and not killing the boss, and that's not going to be very good.
I'm just making a slight observation here. The fact that you can see Saltspire and the Waste Stalker, brilliant. You see them jumping to make these shots. Like, first off, they already have the height, but to jump and make those headshots to like really give yourself that vision over the horde. That's like a little mechanic. It's a miracle what it does. Yui Tall, welcome to the stream.
It's Exan all done, that is falling down the drop down again. Hopefully
let's go see
be
that.
successful this time.
I'm
Exan is still going to Empire and Flame there. having minor difficulties with just the normal parts of the map, one man down, but they're surviving.
They'll be able to recover from that. It's
So
pretty
let's check
close
on
for that res.
Hold On fighting this mini event with the gate.
They just dropped down. They're taking care of the gutters.
Now
they got to just deal with Chaos Warriors.
They're coming.
I mean, still pretty harsh, but only having to deal with Chaos Warriors, especially with the use of these pillars, pretty easy.
Yeah, this event is not meant to be game ending most of the time. It's just it's called Welcome Committee in the code, like literally. So that's pretty much what it is.
That's hilarious.
Dude, that's fucking OP. That fucking 15% talent if you don't need to move around too much.
There's that Brett sword just really working.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how well the mercenary could wield it.
Don't move at all. I just stand in his ass.
Ooh, the pain.
I don't really want to move with that rock fight on.
Yeah, there is a point system. So there are 4 maps that you have to complete. You have starting with the pit onto Empire in Flames, Hornet Magnus, and then the Enchanter's Lair. You get 5 attempts, and every attempt that you have to spend on it, you get less points. And I think there's, if you play on a higher difficulty, there's a different multiplier as well. And by higher difficulty, I mean Cata 1, Cata 3. For the most part, I would say Bio's team has completed... They have first shot on... What is it? The pit?
They've completed the pit and Empire in Flames on first try. They've completed Hornet Magnus on second try, as well as an extra try that did not count because they ended up crashing on the end event.
Right.
And yeah, the Olden's team ended up skipping Hornet Magnus because of crash as well. Unfortunately, they've completed pit on the second try and Empire in Flame on the first try.
Nice.
Exan's team.
Exan's team, on the other hand, has had several wipes on pit and is currently making attempts on Empire and Flame still.
Well, good luck to them. I hope they're able to get it completed. They are just past the drop down. Like, they're in the wine cellars. So they're working their way up. They have to go through the cheese vendors. It's cheese and wine. They have to go through the cheese vendors and make their way into the Broken Tavern and make their attempt on the finale.
Do you want to go?
Yeah. I'll just grab
Uh-oh.
this ammo.
What's happening here?
Okay, jumping down.
Oh, this Storm Vermin is outplaying Ice so bad. He's just dodging arrow after arrow. Okay, so they're making their way through. They got through. They are on the crypt. I thought this was a secret room. What's the point of making your way through here for Ice's group? I thought this took more time.
What they're in the bottom. Are they in the bottom part of the?
They're at one of the... Oh, well, now they're getting a bunch of aggression on them right now with a bunch of storms. Seems like they took care of a couple of gutters. But I thought this was a secret room. I thought you had to unlock this room through the switches.
Yeah, I'm not actually that familiar with those secret rooms right now. I don't even know where they are, but... If they're here, like, I'm sure they've run this map several times, so if they're here, there's got to be a reason.
Nothing.
I think they're looking for healing.
Looking at this room in
items.
particular, like, it is a nice open room with just good terrain for them to fight.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan. It's the light difference is just, for the most part, quality settings. Especially with how Vermintide is really demanding on a lot of machines. Just running this game, especially on this difficulty, at the lowest setting, can really save you those frames. Can really give you the better chance.
I think so far every time we played this map, our first figure was either boss or patrol.
Ice has a supercomputer. From what I see, it's gorgeous. Ooh. Tight corners and a fire rat. Oh. Aesthetics over FPS every day, Kale. Every day.
It comes either way, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we just stand here and see which way they go.
Oh, the patrol got stuck, huh? They're gonna wait. It's a storm patrol, but they're gonna sit and wait while they take care of this horde. Let's take a look here over at Olden.
They're going left, so stay in this corner.
Looks like somebody got picked up, but saved. That's fine. Actually, both of these teams, Olden's team and Ice's team, are fairly close to each other. They're only one room difference.
Yeah, they are.
I wasn't Gav.
Olden's team's got a Rat Ogre, and someone picked up by a Hook Rat at the same time.
Ooh.
Hook Rat's dealt with.
Waystalker going down for Isolator's team. And a pack, I'm sorry, a Gutter Runner. But saved. Ooh, 2 down. Mercenary.
Oh my god.
All 3 down.
Yeah. Battleship's team is
That just got turned upside down really quickly.
Yeah, that went wrong. That's an attempt down for them.
They're going to begin their second attempt. I think another thing to note here is like
their second attempt here, I believe, for instance, is there.
The thing that
and not even wiping on Nurgle, just wiping at the beginning. So those that's what I mean with those like team comps. Like you can bring team comps specialized with Nurgle, you still have a map to get through before you fight him.
That team that just died was Iceolator Bioshift team. But they're making their way back up. Exan's team is clearing out this Rat Ogre. They're still making their way through the Cheese Alley. And then if we take a look here at Olden and pause this. My system has no idea how to handle all these streams.
Yeah,
we take a look here. We're watching
like
Olden and Slash.
On, all those streams because I have like 5 streams, 6 streams.
Yeah.
I guess pause yours. Like I've been running your streams well just to see the chat. Should have it paused.
I should be able to give you pop-up of chat. Let me see.
Yeah, no, there is pop-up. I was just being dumb.
So another thing to kind of consider here is like these guys have been playing for the past 2.5 hours. Deathwish Onslaught, Cata 3. They're playing at their absolute peak performance, you know, and then on top of all that, in their heads, they're like, this is, I only have 20 minutes left. If we die, we need to reset and get back in this before this 20 minutes is up. So it feels like you're racing yourself. What was that?
Like I mentioned, though, the people get to finish their attempts if they start towards the end of the timer.
True.
Like their attempts are not limited by the timer itself.
You see my brain turned off.
It's just the mental pressure that you go under this as well, aside from just playing at this level. Could you? I mean, there are some resource management skills that you have to do here, other than your ult. Like, do I have a potion? Do I have a bomb? Is there healing? Did somebody get dropped? Do I have healing kit over a drop? You know. Ooh, walked straight through that molar and whiffed. But they are coming up towards the poison feast once they pull that lever.
That's interesting.
The other good thing about having this Ranger Vet is, especially with shotguns being low ammo, the Ranger Vet really does provide the ammo for everybody. Just as you play throughout the map, you don't have to be worried about, do I have an ammo crate ahead of me? Just 2 Chaos Warriors in that tight quarters can cause so much problems.
The BIOS team's got a Rat Ogre on that
same
open
spot?
room. Yeah, the same spot as I believe Olden's team was dealing with earlier.
Okay.
Coming up, so watch your booties.
It's kind of weird how that lined up. Like a lot of those teams getting the same boss triggers in the same locations.
Yeah.
Even though the runs are, I believe, not seeded.
Yeah, no, this seems... Oh, yeah, we saw back-to-back trolls. We saw back-to-back. Ooh, there's those headshots coming in.
Yeah,
oh my
the
god!
Waystalker roll, it does work on normal bosses too. Whenever the head's exposed like that.
That's insane.
Yep,
oh, you gonna eat overhead? Don't eat it. Okay. You can just hold guard and tap that F, but that fire on the ground is gonna do some damage. Wow. Seriously, I am.
And that rat ogre
Oh,
goes down.
that ogre had
A lot of
enough
arrows
of
in his
that.
face.
I think I'm listening to the wrong team here. Hold on. Yeah, otherwise we would have been hearing all of her ults. Seek! Seek! Look at that. Who
The
needs
Olden
a
team
shade?
is progressing well.
Oh, yeah, do we have full ammo? There's a lot of ammo.
Examiner coming up to the Empire and Flame events.
Oh, that'd be fun to watch. This has caused them a lot of trouble. We're gonna go ahead and mute these other streams so I can focus on Exan. So we're moving into the blood room for Bio's team, and we are just outside the poison feast for Olden's team, and this is Exan's. We're gonna see how they're gonna do with the Empire and Flames event. I could try, guys, if this works. I could try to do.
There's a gas rat through the window.
Here, I'm gonna try this. This might be too much. Because this is a multi-stream website, so let's see if I can get multi-streams up. All right, cool, it worked. So on top, we're going to be looking at Olden, and on bottom, we're looking at Examina. We have 2 event rooms going on at once, so let's see how this plays out. Ooh. There we go.
Open up for firing!
Exan's team taking their time in this room with the ammo box to clear out everything. Seems to have an opening here. They're going for it.
With what? We have no healing.
Everyone's alive and well. Got 3 healing items. Got to deal with a Chaos Ult now.
Okay, did they go moving forward?
Cock potions become your best friend when you don't have any healing.
Issues here.
Yeah, just use it.
Too many streams. I'm gonna lower that down. So we still are gonna be able to see what the mercenary is doing, but a little bit higher quality on the Waystalker up top.
Another hook? Or not?
No, we killed one. Oh wait, I think it's Saboka.
I think if they pace themselves pretty well,
Back up.
Exan's team should at least get 1, maybe 2 attempts on Enchanter's Lair. If they're able to clear this map within the next couple of minutes. 15 minutes-ish?
Yeah, I suppose Exan would probably skip Horn of Magnus at this point. I don't know what's going to happen with the scores with Horn of Magnus, considering Bio's team actually cleared it without crashing, but then the others had to skip it.
Yeah.
It's,
They're going to have to...
I don't know what happened with... I believe there was an EU team that scored before us, like to 249. Magnus first attempt. And yeah.
Coming.
So I think 249 cleared the Horn of Magnus off stream.
I'm calling a chaos spawn.
Yeah, they posted in the Discord that they had been clearing.
We got a pet. We get a pet.
I think they just run a stopwatch on themselves and then
I'm not sure what pet we get.
post timestamps, and they should be fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna heal because I've been wounded.
But this
maybe
is
this team would even be afforded a bit more time because of all the time they've lost on that Horn of Magnus crash.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see how it goes.
I mean, just the
Except
crash
both
and trying to
teams,
reconnect.
Lost a solid 30 minutes just because they ran an attempt all the way up to the end event of Horn of Magnus only to crash.
It could either be a grace time period or it could be a grace attempt given to them. Squeak's team doesn't have anybody streaming? I don't believe so. I have the streams up, but it doesn't look like it. I have Incandescent and Sleazy, and then I have $249, and neither of them are live streaming it.
Yeah, they did their attempts like before. Like if you look at the scores channel of the Onslaught series Discord, they've got their scoreboards posted there already since 4 and 5 a.m. for my time, which is okay. Regardless, Exan's team is
looks
the
like
beginning of this. They're having difficulties here on Power Event already.
A little bit.
Last man standing.
Saltspire getting picked up
with the Witch Hunter captain.
He's gonna be down.
This Witch Hunter captain is he's in the storm. That's game over.
Yeah, he's got picked up. He's surrounded by 4 Chaos Warriors. Easy hits in the air. That's them being down. It looks though that they're going to be doing another reset. Give it another shot.
Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I could try. Take a look here. Ice. Where's Ice's team at? Poison Feast. So I could try.
Poison Feast and
so the other trigger is pretty close. So
I
gotta
think
be a bit careful.
Oh, right. I'm just giving this.
Yeah, Uldan and Slash are not quite at Nurglot yet, but they're past the feast.
Yeah, they still have a little ways to go still. A couple of hallways. They have this big courtyard first. They have to go up the stairways and then through like the final hallways to get to the Enchanter's Lair itself.
I'm such a good player.
But they're gonna have to deal with this troll. Let me take a look here at what this Poison Feast looks like for Isolator and Bio. So a lot of these events that we've seen, it's a lot of Berserkers, it's a lot of Maulers. You got your specials that come in. I think the ones that really put a lot of pressure is either going to be your Fire Rat or your Gas Rat. Gutters kind of cause some troubles, especially if they have a really good knockback. But I don't see them being as difficult. Maybe if that Packmaster picks you up and you have a Berserker next to them, that could just be a humiliation kill. And the other thing I've kind of noticed, unless I just completely missed it, is that Isolator and Bio's team haven't had to deal with any Beastmen. I know that
Beastmen are pretty scarce. They cannot spawn in Enchanter's Lair though because the Beastmen spawn disabled in that map. So they're not going to be here for sure for any of the team.
Not having to deal with Beastmen is pretty nice. Not having to deal with Mino is nice.
So yeah, from looking at the Discord, it seems Uldan's team is requesting partial points for Horn of Magnus because they got up to the event but then crashed.
What is it, boss? No.
I mean, I don't see why not.
No.
So they're getting that. BioShift is going to, however, get extra time because they didn't get partial point. They just actually cleared it. But that one attempt that just ended up in a crash was useless.
Yeah,
they're gonna get the time back for that.
That makes sense to me. I mean, it's not to their fault. It's not like they were like they had no power over it. So. Okay, they made their way through that Poison Feast pretty well. They're going to be dealing with a Horde, a couple of specials. Once they go up those stairs, possibly a boss. My own personal bad luck, I should say. There's usually a boss at the top of those stairs. And so Exan's team, they are starting Empire in Flames. They get that Sacra at the start. Only one little bomb. That's so better than nothing, I guess. Sacrat can either give you healing, potions, all sorts of goodies, or nothing. What we have up here.
Let's go.
Ooh, did a duck and roll.
We're flexing on that guy.
So Uldan's team is getting closer and closer to Nurglot at this point.
They're pretty much on pace with Uldan right now.
Oh yeah, they are very close to
Yeah,
each
they're
other.
only.
It's impressive to see Bioshift catch up pretty much to. Well, they're still a bit behind, but yeah.
They're just in the library behind, and they have to go up through like one more hallway, and they'll be on the stairs. It's really not that far. But you're right, the amount of time that they make up, the distance that they can cover, in spite of all the aggression, in spite of all the damage coming at them.
Wards still live by.
One down.
And the big difference I see here with Olden and Bio's team is Olden's team opted to go for the Witch Hunter Captain, and Bio's team, oh, they both have it. They both have the same
They
team.
have a Witch Hunter Captain. They both have. So yeah, the mercenary Witch Hunter Captain are like staples of this. They're just.
Oh yeah.
They're always there. And then yeah, we got the Waystalkers with piercing shots, which are a staple of Nurgle, and they both decided to also go with the Ranger Veteran as well. It's
Okay, so
pretty
it's very
much
similar.
standard compositions for specifically Nurgle.
Do you see differences in the weapons? Like, what's the mercenary using for?
Well, the
Bio's
mercenary
team?
on the Olden's got that new Bredonian sword, which is an interesting pick.
Yeah. And I think I see a spear on Isolator's team, on Bio's team.
Yeah, Donor's got the trying to catch a glimpse of their
Yeah,
mercenaries.
they're dealing with Chaos Warriors, Horde, a troll. No big deal.
Yeah, that is a spear on their mercenary right now.
Yeah, that's what really the biggest difference that I see.
Remember, there's a trigger a bit ahead in here as well, somewhere.
The Australian teams will be playing in 1 hour and 7 minutes.
The mercenary on Olden caught one of those Molder overheads. Almost died because they were picked up with their ranged weapon out and didn't move. But a teammate staggered the Molder was about to hover them down. Overhead.
Oh,
double
double daggers? Malleus, welcome to the stream. We're seeing double daggers on one of the Waystalkers. Yeah, I'm seeing daggers, sword on Slash.
Yeah, the Waystalker on
dual daggers.
Isolator
Yeah.
Bioship has dual dagger, and on Olden it's a sword and dagger.
Yeah.
Some slight differences here and there, but fairly similar team comps overall.
Well, the level of damage each weapon could, like the control
Some
from the
headshots
spear.
going into that troll. It's gone. It's done. On Ice and Bio's team, that is.
Yeah, they're gonna have to deal with going through this courtyard, a couple of hallways, going up the stairs, and making their way up.
Yeah.
And we are just outside.
It's got pretty much just this drop down, and then one large hallway after this balcony, and they'll be at Nurgle.
Let's switch this to 720, see if this will be fine.
Everybody stood at the edge and didn't
Yeah,
jump
they're
down.
very, very close to Nurgloth.
You said there could be a path when you jump down.
We passing through the Baron's Manor, the gates.
I'm just glad
For Exan's team, they're making their way through, making their way to the first drop down. Dealing with a couple of these specials that keep spawning around them.
Big Iron Man.
And this Brett's sword is
Yeah, the Bretonian Locksword is doing work. It's
Like-
not, I've not actually tried that weapon myself. It does seem very viable though.
I mean, even with the low amount of stam that it has,
Are you referring to your team?
he's doing
Well,
well
it's got
with
a
it.
standard 3, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't necessarily see him using the parry either, like charge, hold the block, get the parry off. Like, it's just being aggressive.
Toxic.
No, that
Ooh,
block
Exan's
on
team's
charge
8.
attack is just a gimmick, and just it's an extra bit of safety that you passively have. Even you don't have to worry about it. It's just there.
There's been a lot of crazy
Yeah, this
plays
is the
that we've
last
seen here.
hallway on Olden's team before the Nurgle, and they've got a bunch of Chaos Warriors blocking the way. Nothing that'll hold them back very long, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, they should be fine. They have that bill hook. There's Chaos Warriors, not super worried about it. You have the disruption
Get
from
another
the
Horde wave.
Ranger Vet if he absolutely needs to use it, but He's not gonna have to.
I mean, they can shoot all the ammo they want right now because they've got the ammo box coming up right before the boss fight.
Yeah, they should have ammo. They should have health.
Yeah, I mean, the mercenary is going for it. He's just abusing that shotgun.
Getting
Here
right
we go.
up on it.
We're about to see Nurglot right after the refill.
There we go.
Um,
They're trying to figure out who's getting what potions. Do we want
right here.
speed? Do we want
Yeah,
strength?
they gotta set up all those potions and everything. They want to execute that fight flawlessly. They
Take a
know
look.
they don't have another attempt after this.
Yeah. Just before
that
they
happens.
go in, let's take a look real quick at Ice. They still have to make their way up the stairs, but they
Yeah, they're still
are
a bit
making their way.
behind, but
Ooh.
they're doing well. I mean,
Getting
they
a
are
couple of cheeky
19
hits
minutes in. Meanwhile, the Olden's team is 27 minutes in this current run, so
Yeah.
the pace is there. Well, Exan's team is after the
these-
first main drop down of Empire.
Yeah, they're in
fighting
the city.
Skaven Horde. Seeing some gas over here.
They've got gas. They're getting pushed out. They went towards the drop down. Typically, you want to go right or forward. They just got their backs to a wall and got pushed too far to the left.
Waste Stalker's got the. Ooh, is that going to be a wipe on the Exan's team? Possibly. They're 2 down.
it looks like they're all
3
dead.
down. Witch Hunter Captain, last standing again. Oh. Yep, that's.
If they're fast.
Unfortunate end for Exan's team.
That's rough. That's rough. That's the name of the game, though.
Well,
we got
Olden
Nurglot
is,
started.
Literally starting Nurglot's fight right now. Let's tune in on that.
wherever you want to stand here.
Oh, before Nurglot the Eternal. The Uber Strike almost 5.
Clear the right side. This is left. I got left.
So they're dealing with one of those defensive waves right now, which has Blightstormers added to it in Onslaught, as well as, more stuff. And it looks like they've not managed to kill the Blightstormer. One of them got in their way and died for it, but there's still one Blightstormer up, which forces them to move around, and they still have to deal with the flies at the same time. But with them stacking that close together, they're dealing with it well. The Blightstormer avoided death narrowly. Just teleported away at the last second. You can shotgun bash those flies. That's the thing. And we got circles coming in. Those circles, by the way, actually destroy opposing mobs. But you got the Balchemist coming in and doing some damage here, just tossing the mercenary over the
These
circle.
rings. The most brutal thing about these rings, if you get knocked up and there's enemies behind you, you're going to get hit a couple of times in the back. Guaranteed. Bark skin or not. But look at the damage that they were able to get through with just one wave of rings.
I am trying to.
Yeah, like there is a cap to how much damage you can do to Nurglot, because he'll go into defensive stance every third of his health. So you can only do a third of his health before he goes up on this little balcony and becomes immune to damage, which I believe is what they did. They immediately put him back into defensive stance immediately and had to fight a second wave of defensive without having to deal with any offensive waves.
Here come in the
So now they're dealing with
Blightstormers.
this again. But chances are, now, usually you never get to be able to do
that was
without
a
any
long
offensive
wave.
waves on the... Yeah, this time they're not going to manage to get him all the way to defensive stance again. Or maybe they will.
They will. They have the damage.
No, not quite. They're going to have to deal with an offensive wave now, since he's not at the third of his health yet.
It was so close.
And the offensive wave has multiple Balchemists in it.
At
You
least
can
3
see those
leeches spawning in
unused
on them.
enemies that come into play into Onslaught.
The big thing here is that, like, in that last wave, those rings, Nurglot killed 2 of those leeches with his own rings.
Yes, that is one thing that does happen. It is slightly unfortunate with the Balchemist. Mercenary taking it with those rings.
I'm telling you,
Ooh, and
those
the
rings.
Balchemist doing some more damage. Yeah, the combos there happening. Oh yeah, the rings from Nurglot will kill his own allies as well, which includes the sorcerers I'm spawning in. All part of the plan. Working as intended.
We've got 1 bomb left on the mercenary. We have a cogpot on the ranger veteran. Cogpot being passed out. to the Merce.
Yeah, no, that's people are being flied around
flies.
now. This is
Flies. Okay,
flies,
okay.
the flies.
2 down, 3 down, 4th down. No.
No. All the flies.
That was going so well for them.
That offensive wave, man.
Yeah, we're done now. Yeah, we're done.
Now we can start a near
That's-
one before.
They died
I don't know if
1 minute
they'll
over.
get either one last attempt in, or if time is going to be considered up.
That's
It
going to be up to
is
judges.
Exactly 3 right now.
Yeah, that's
This
up
might
to
be the
judges.
last attempt in because of that whole stuff, but we'll see. It's over. I think it's over.
We have Iceolator and Bioshift's team. They're going to be making their way up to Enchanter's Lair. They're just clearing up the last little bit of trash. They're going to get their heals up, get their ammo, get their bombs.
Okay, we're done.
That's a call on Olden's team.
Yeah, it was far enough.
That's pretty crazy. Absolutely crazy fight.
Yeah, Bio is gonna.
We do have Incan and Sleazy, who are doing their attempts now. If you guys want to check that out, definitely go. I could try to stream that, but I'm not sure I can go too far past this attempt here.
I think we might have missed a few things. Exan is stream is ending right now, so I guess their times are over as well.
I think they called their session.
Yeah. So we're left with Bioshift's team.
Examiner, hail to you.
Fighting a lot right now.
Great efforts, great attempts. You guys are doing really well. Yeah, there's been a lot of people. JSAT came in and also hosted.
All hail the new recruit.
Yarsa, thank you. I think it's Yarsa. Thank you for the follow. We had a huge raid from JSAT. These people were coming in, checking out, like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're doing the tournament. Check it out. Let me get both of these streams going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bio and Ice are fighting Nurgler right now. They're fighting this first defensive wave that is with the beginning of the fight. This looks like they got some Chaos Warriors that came in that wave.
Yeah, a couple of Chaos Warriors, got a bunch of Maulers.
I think it's the mixed wave set, that I included, which has some of everything.
So far, nobody picked up by bugs. They're doing a good job at clearing those bugs.
Yeah, so this first defensive wave is going to go down well. And we'll probably see the same thing that happened with Olden's team, is that they're going to, like, the Wave Stalkers should go ham here, while the
you can see it.
circle with almost no mobs on the field. And they're probably going to try and force another defensive wave immediately.
Look at that. Come on. Press F faster. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah, that is immediately another defensive wave. Forced immediately.
Yeah, Nair. There's
like nothing on the field stopping them from doing so, other than a few alchemists.
I have been following that. I can't really follow those streams after this. After this Nurgloth attempt, it's kind of like the time slot I was able to negotiate. Not with Exan or anybody else, just with Ishka Fem and Game Boy.
Shotgun coming in handy with all those molars right now. The dwarf is racking up the kill count on the second defensive wave. The Blightstormers, yeah, they're dead.
I had to use my ult though.
Not a problem.
Here we
Second
go.
defensive wave cleared up very efficiently. And now we're gonna get. Let's see if they can force a third defensive wave immediately. Like they got a little lucky when Nurgloth decided to do circles
damage on
again.
him right now.
So I think they might actually manage to force the third defensive wave without having to deal with any offensive wave.
Wow.
They did. No offensive waves. Flawless execution.
The precision.
This was the most important thing not to miss.
You hear them? If you guys can hear them, they're talking about how important it was to get to this particular wave and not allow him to get an offensive wave out.
Now they got to deal with the second defensive wave. We just got more Blightstormers.
2 Blightstormers down.
Died, like one, the Wave Stalker just double killed those Blightstormers in one shot.
One shot took them both out.
It's all okay. The Blightstormers are out. They're dealing with this defensive wave, which they're clearing up well right now. Everything's going well for them. And then they'll just be left with the final phase of the boss, which is going to have leeches.
Here we go. This is going to happen. The trash is done. Nurgloth's going to have to step down from his little ledge and come on in.
Yep, literally just waiting for him. They cleared out the field.
Let's see how this is handled.
Moment is through.
Rings coming out. Pretty soon the boss is going to start summoning in
the
his
Waystalker
troops.
here is trying to get aggro of Nurgle by spamming as many attacks as possible into him. And
Trash coming
she's
in.
got it,
Damage
although
going
the
out.
The mobs are... Ooh, the mobs.
Ooh, missed on that
She wants
headshot.
aggro so that she can have him facing her and then be able to do ult. Those Waystalker missed that ult and so now has to wait for a new ult
That
to be
ring.
able to try again.
That
But
ring was
meanwhile, the
close.
Dwarf is also doing some damage with the shotgun.
Ranger veteran being saved.
Dwarf got leech and it's good. So now they need to get enough damage in because it's a race against time because the mobs will keep spawning in and piling up.
Going in, Viz.
There
The
you
Dwarf
go.
is waiting on this ult to get another shotgun ult.
Dwarf getting some damage in.
Spamming shotgun in.
Come on,
And
almost.
Almost there. We're
Got
stalking
him!
those shots. They got it.
Nurgle.
That is a successful boss kill on Nurgle.
Amazing.
That was
Absolutely
a very good
amazing.
execution.
Remember the start for this one, right?
Yeah, just slowly. I mean, very slowly in the beginning.
The map is not over yet, though. They've still got also an escape event, which is also a little empowered by
I've got a
Onslaught.
scout out. I mean, I've got my ult.
Oh, I wonder who made it like
Can you
that.
give me that heal, potion, I'll just
I
use it
wonder who.
for, ult.
So, okay, the big bad, the big bump in the night
Or should we just wait?
has been down.
Here,
Don't
my
do the art. Style points
Yeah,
for
they-
art.
They should have this in the bag, really. Like, if they wiped this after such a flawless execution of
Just give us
Nurgle,
heal, ammo.
it'd be very
We can have
unfortunate.
that on it.
But there is still like there's a large amount of Skaven
40
that's going to
seconds?
come through those hallways that they have to deal with.
What are we
And
waiting
the
for?
build they're running right now isn't particularly insane against Stormvermins, like the Grudge Raker isn't. Oh my god, picking up Ravage Dot.
Oh
Haven't they
man,
had enough of
they're
that?
waiting. They're waiting for the Ranger veteran ult to
Go
be
down
up.
the middle first.
I guess they're
Go
kind of
back and then
farming
I'll
ammo
use
as
those
well
for,
for those
go down
specials.
the left or right, whichever's clear.
But yes, they can definitely wait for the ults because I believe spawns are still disabled for the most, aside from specials in this area. Even though it's Onslaught,
I can't pull it?
you kind of deserve it after killing Nurgle, really.
Oh, there we go. That was weird. Yeah, did you guys see that? Just for a split second on my stream, you guys could see that the lever was not accessible by the host. That was weird.
We have
Well,
some active storm.
anyway, it's
Well, I'll check on the
They
left.
got storms coming in.
yeah, lots of storm
Leeches,
vermins.
lots of leeches in the back. Pretty deep, nefarious.
Left is away.
Something's up with them. Like they're standing still, which is interesting.
Yeah, it looks like the dwarf is kind of on his own right now, but he's gonna ult and be out of trouble with that.
Oh.
I think they're kind of scouting out the gates so that they can. The dwarf is scouting out the gates that block the way so that they can make sure they can run through once they decide to move.
Yeah, he did lobster.
That's what the dwarf's purpose was. That is pretty smart.
One gate up.
And then maybe right.
So not only do they bring this Ranger vet for Nurgle, they also brought it for this event.
New recruit! All hail the new
You got
recruit!
thank you for following.
Thought that like might as well use it.
Wanna bomb it? Oh
But
my
yeah.
God,
Bomb's
my
going
mom's
out.
banging really- Why is my
Very
mom
good
ringing me?
thinking. So
Saltspire got pinched a little bit, but they saved him.
Timing.
they've got that bomb for it.
What? I didn't hit you.
I'll heal.
Ooh, Salt's so low. 4 hit points. Okay.
He's
Heal
gonna
on
med
Salt.
kit. Yeah, he's gonna med kit.
They'll be alright.
They don't have anything else to save it for. They're just gonna
Packmaster
use
picking
what they've
up.
got. Oh, the disablers coming in.
2
Dragged away.
Packmasters, 2 gutters taken care of.
You gotta not falter now that they're so close to victory.
I know, they could taste it. Oh, with his snout just around the corner, perfect shots.
Okay, left.
Storm vermin's behind.
Oh, that was weird. The lighting right there went crazy.
It's a scratch gun.
Would be ashamed to die now.
Oh no, they used dupe to bomb, very nice.
Who's gonna stall on the Skaven with those
That's
bombs?
the point. Come on, Ranger vet, where's that ult out? You better rush, cause you guys just reaching fresh air outside this tunnel.
Man left
Yeah, they're
behind.
making it.
Yep, gas
They're all
rat's taken
here.
care of.
Oh, you're down, let's run.
All
Fire
those
rat down,
specials, like,
specials
try all
destroyed.
they want, but nothing's gonna stop them at this point.
Saltspire getting blocked up, but it's alright.
The Saltspire is taking a few god breaks.
Bridge of Shadows open. They
But
might
all
be able to
good.
all make it out. All 4 of them making it in
No
to the
one left
bubble.
behind.
And that is
Good
their
games.
victory.
Second place.
That was beautiful.
100%.
Yeah, probably second, please.
Amazing.
27 points.
Yeah, not bad. What was that? 2 fails?
On Enchanters was 1 fail. And
No,
on
2 fails total.
yeah.
2 failures total. You can see
And
stats here
if we
post
didn't get
game.
crashes, it would have been no fails.
I mean, maybe 1.
I don't think crashes count as a fail. I think they consider a crash
no,
a
the
fail.
crash does not. For
going
BIOS
for
team,
Thank
they
you.
decided to go and run it again and successfully cleared Horn.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
the crash is just like a non-issue. It doesn't exist.
Always need to have
And I mean
Iceolator.
the time doesn't even matter either because they ended up just clearing it anyway
I need to
in
reload.
time, which is
Alright, guys.
impressive.
Well played.
And meanwhile, Oldan decided to
Yeah, I
take
have
partial points on Horn of Magnus for their attempt.
Yes.
And so yeah.
It was a laptop.
Well, that's awesome. We were able to watch these 3 teams play at I can't even think of the word. Insanely high difficulty, push through, get their completions. We saw Nurgloth defeated today. And then I do have to call my stream at this point, so if anybody wants to
He
pick
was more
this
than
up,
defeated. He was executed.
he really was. He was shot in the face by this elf so many times.
I want the ammo.
There is no face, only arrows.
Like he has those little like breathing holes. No, those are actually arrow holes. She just decided to shove them in there. But you guys can definitely go check out Incandescent AU and Sleazy Rats. They're going to be playing their session as well. That is going to be it for me. So definitely go check them out, give them some support. I want to say thank you for everyone coming out, hanging out, enjoying this event. Bicycle of Death, hail to you, champion. We just had a Vermintide 2 Deathwish Onslaught Tournament casted by me and Grimmelek. I really enjoy this. Hopefully there's more of these.
So
I think
did I.
we can. Oh my god. Iceolator coming in as well. Thank you. Technically, yes, but there's one more team that you can see playing.
New recruit, new recruit. All hail the new recruit.
Nair, thank you for that. There's one more team left. I highly recommend you guys go check them out. You have Incandescent. Here, I'll drop you guys a link. That's a multi-stream. You'll be able to watch both of these amazing players and the rest of their team take on the rest of their challenges in this tournament. We'll see how well they place. And then I guess on
They're
Twitter or on
right
Reddit.
now, they're already on the pit.
All hail the new recruit.
So,
This is their first map.
yeah, the pit is the first map. So I don't know if this
DMTQT.
is their first attempt or not. There's a good chance it would be, since they are nearly 14 minutes in, and it's been 14 minutes since 3. So assuming they started at 3 exactly, then yes, that would be their first attempt.
Yeah, I think so too. Iceolator, welcome to the stream. Congratulations, man. You guys played so well. You guys played out of your minds. You really did. It was a pleasure to watch you guys play. Pleasure to like cast and just kind of figure out the way you guys are thinking, approaching these maps. It was just crazy. That's what it is. 36,000 ping. I can't cast this. Yeah, Benchen. Yeah, I'm wearing my I'm repping my vermin armor. See, I'm repping the vermin armor. This is about Vermintide. This is about checking out the other players. This is about celebrating this tournament that's happening. So I want to say thank you to Exan and the community there that wanted to have me shoutcast this. So thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. Hopefully you guys liked it and had some fun. If you did, let people know, whether it's on the Reddit, or let them know on Twitter, or let them know here, or let them know in my Discord, or the official Discord of this thing. And maybe we can get more little tournaments like this down the road.
I'd be happy to come back and do some more casting as well. I've had a great time here.
Yeah, I'd love to have you again. That's awesome. And then the other thing, I know we're looking at Cata 3. Another person had brought up kind of as a joke, but I also think half joke, half serious. When did we get to see the Cata players, just regular Cata? When do we get to see the Legends players get to try this type of mod out and see what happens with them, see where they get to go, right? So
yeah,
I think that's
obviously
something cool.
Onslaught scales with all of the difficulties, and stuff, but it functions even on champion or veteran even.
Yeah, I mean the
obviously
level of
most players that
aggression,
play us are at
the
least at
aggression
legend level, but.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just like so pumped watching these guys play. We could see. What was the other thing I wanted to bring up? Oh, Rain Dish or any other modder. If you could invent a spectator mod, that would be cool. Not necessarily like free flowing no clip, although that would be kind of cool too. But like a way to do this spectating that, like when you're dead in game, you can still spectate other people. That would be kind of cool as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it's possible to do at least third-person spectating, like just basically the same cameras when you're dead. But I think the one thing that would be very hard to implement would be a first-person spectator. So I'm sure there'd be a lot of extra things that will have to be coded in for that to be possible.
I think the Onion said one of the easiest ways to kind of start going about it is basically spawn in a fifth player, have him die, and then.
Yeah, we've literally got less as many players, which allows for more players. Like, yeah, you can literally just have a fifth player and have them permanently dead. Technically, that's the ghetto way of doing it. I'm sure there's better ways that could be made for specifically spectators. But,
yeah, I mean, I think what we did here is really cool. We could have done that, but if we did spectator mode, we could really dive into that actual map instead of just watching somebody else's stream. We would be able to see them like in game, which would make it maybe a little bit harder bouncing around streams, bouncing around teams. But if we dedicated towards one, it could work.
Yeah.
Would I do modded stuff myself? I would. I think this type of stuff is really cool. Bless this many players I did back when I streamed on the Vermintide page, on Fat Shark page. You got to, if you're asking, could you do this difficulty, this mode with Bless this many players? I believe New Type actually does that pretty regularly now. So definitely check that out.
This was I've seen a few New Type streams. He's getting up to like 20 plus players in a single game. It's and then I had to update Mythical Vanguard to function with the latest patches so that they could do it with this amount of players. And yeah, Mythical Vanguard Onslaught is something to behold. It definitely spawns enough things to deal with like those 20-25 players at once in the map. It's pretty funny to watch.
That's awesome. Vermintide MMO coming to you soon. TM. Bio shifts. Yo, welcome to the stream. Yeah, it was awesome. What an event.
Vanguard still works.
One event to watch. Full Gear, welcome to the stream. But like I said, this is going to be me. This is the rest of what I can stream. I'm going to link you guys this channel again. It is a multi-Twitch. You can watch that. You can watch both the streams. You can interact with the chat. If there's a little tab up on the top right, my channel right now looks weird because I'm zoomed out so I can get more video feed. This is what it would look like regularly. I thought it would look easier. Who was it? Somebody else said it would look easier on your eyes being side by side rather than top to bottom, which I agree. But thank you guys for playing. Thanks for being part of this event. And if you guys would like to see more of it, get a hold of Exan, get a hold of me, get a hold of somebody and say how cool this was. If you enjoyed it, if you want to participate in something like this, say it on Twitch, say it on Twitter, say it on Reddit, say it somewhere. And maybe this could become a thing. So once again, thank you again, Grimelic. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care. I'm going to leave background. There we go. Vermintide in the background.
That was fun.